I don't know shit about politics, but anyway. Alright. So now I got to record them. Now, this like me, I don't know, sometimes we always record me. By being the chief of the military means, I'm like senior member, and I don't do no hazing or none of that shit. Sending you down there to run through goddamn smoke tunnels and seeing you survive or make you smoke firecrackers. I don't do no hazing, man. That's for goofballs and shit, you know what I'm saying? If somebody doing hazing, then you need to get them the fuck out of there and bring them to attention and court martial them, you dig? Because it's not no fucking college shit where the rich kids who didn't even have to get a tuition, their parents paid full cash, versus somebody who's down there trying to get a fucking job, washing the car, getting hazed so they can get them some McDonald's and shit. Because most of the time they just say, I just go up there to the Q house or something where the rich kids are and wash your car and they'll probably pay $20. It's hard out here for a pimp. I'm looking for a job at McDonald's myself. It's pretty much like the college atmosphere at times. Because if you don't get a job in college, then you pretty much gonna fucking starve if you don't got no income coming in from your parents. But that's a good talk about coming independent when you leave home and start living on campus and shit. You thought that when you got down there they had cafeteria food. At times do have cafeteria food, but it's late at night, man. And you might see your bro, man, he might be having a napkin, he grabbing a piece of cake out of the cafeteria and shit. And y'all might be laughing, but like, I can't believe y'all niggas in here. Y'all living like y'all in, county jail, man. How y'all, y'all eating noodles and, y'all trading. If you do my homework type shit, I give you 2 packs of noodles type shit. So that's a whole another conversation of humor and education that you won't get unless you walked in those shoes before. And so back what we were saying, as far as, I ain't gonna stress about where the past and shit, we'll get into all that later on how I became, like how I lost all my family as a child to a natural disaster. Alright, we just gonna sum it up. Let's just say a hurricane came down there, and it's not a documented hurricane, but a hurricane just formed all of a sudden, because we really didn't have no technology back then to let us know when all hurricanes was coming. So a hurricane come down, tear the whole neighborhood up, everybody dies in the hurricane, tornadoes, except for me. Alright, so I survived, and I end up getting, passed all around to see who would be a good fit, and then I end up becoming like a military child. And I was laughing, saying like, if anybody want to adopt a little motherfucker, it's gonna be military, because he got a lot of advanced skills and like combat, and he good with a goddamn gun and shit. That nigga like a midget sniping and shit. So if anybody getting them, I was like the fucking Michael Jordan. Matter of fact, I was like a nigga that was in Harlem that could shoot a real good jump shot and crush niggas up, who never played, never waste my time on sports at school, and all of a sudden some nigga named Pee Wee Kirkland, somebody pulled up and I ended up in the motherfucking NBA type shit. And just because I had skills on the street corner. So that's how I pretty much became, to become who I am today. I didn't even know what a fucking draft was. And if a draft was going on, they ain't gonna draft no fucking 3-year-old midgets with a pistol. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was just a fucking news reporter that they thought was the fucking Garfield funny pages ad in the newspapers and shit. But alright, so I'm gonna compare past to present. So around the time this tornado, hurricane tears up the whole neighborhood, kills about 700 people. And now it kills about 700 people. Nobody survived except for me. So after it happens, somebody pretty much reported and said, man, it was a bad storm went through Carolina last night, man. It killed a lot of people. I can see the destruction. It's almost like when you see on Oklahoma when they show you Tornado Alley where all those double wides, like the whole neighborhood is tore all to pieces over a fucking hurricane that they estimate is 5 feet wide. That motherfucker ain't no 5 feet wide, Ain't no fucking hell that bitch 5 feet wide. If it was 5 feet wide, it would tow the whole goddamn country and and it would have been the most unstoppable. And this country would have been condemned and shit. Nobody's allowed over there because the goddamn hurricane with 20 is 5 miles wide. You know what I'm saying? And he's just giving you, he's just giving you his goddamn estimate of it. Because from here, bitch, like it's 5 miles wide. You know what I'm saying? To ballistics, that shit's not 5 miles wide at all. 5 miles wide, that shit would have been longer than who goddamn farm, bigger than who goddamn city. You know what I'm saying? But he's just giving you his educational value with this shit. He's just exaggerating this shit. Like that bitch gotta be that big, man. Because that's the most scary shit I've ever seen, right? So, all right. Somebody reports it, and this is past, and then I'm gonna take it to the future. Whole neighborhood's tore all to pieces. Everybody's dead. Whole place nothing but rubble, like a fucking scrapyard out there. I'm the only one to survive. So they recovered me from the scrap. Did a rebuild and all kind of shit. So when they send people down there, sometimes they send the military down there because we need to get some serious motherfuckers down there. Because we don't want nobody down there, bitch, playing goddamn dumbass games where they down there recycling the fucking metal and selling it for motherfucking crystal mail bags and shit. So, alright, a lot of y'all never been in a disaster zone. Sometimes, disaster zone is called a dead zone. Dead zone is where everybody dies in a storm or war or whatever, That's a disaster zone. So, I don't know if you ever seen a house fire when somebody, like one of your friends or your house burns to the ground, or, I don't know if you ever lost your house in a tornado or some shit, like a natural disaster, mudslide. But afterwards, you realize that your house is like your locker. You got your pictures in it. You got got pictures, your phones, all kinds of valuables are in the rubble. It's like working at a recycle yard at times, So when we go down there, we're doing recycle units. We digging through the rubble. So in my case, when they was digging through the rubble, they found, and once I say digging through the rubble, your pocketbook's down there. You probably got fucking $5,000 in your safe that's out there laid somewhere. That's probably laid wide open with $5,000 in it. And if it was there, then pick it up, put in your pocket, man. You know what I'm saying? That's your treasure hunt day. It wasn't a part of the job, it wasn't my reason coming down here, but I found something lucky, because I was working at a scrapyard later in life and shit, where we was crushing cars, and some of the cars were the cars that had been wrecked on the interstate, or somebody drunk driving, and somebody just scrapped their cars and needed $3 of shit because it was rusty. But when it goes through the metal grinder and chops it all up, the magnets pull the aluminum and the copper and the steel and the stainless steel and the brass and chipboards. You might say, why is chipboards out of like remote controllers important? Chipboards inside cars, like computer chips. Like we had chipboards inside everything, like that TV, this goddamn phone. Pretty much, even to your walkie-talkie and shit. It's like your circuit board. So, and then, when you got the metal grinder and the production line is feeding the cars with the metal grinder, and then it sections it all off at different lines, you realize that the chairs ain't made of metal, so they made of cotton. So that shit has to go down the line too, And then, you might see Bibles and shit that people had in their car trunks or whatever. And then you might say somebody died, their pocketbook was still in the car, and they had $300 in their pocketbook, so that might come down the line, and it might be your lucky day. Damn, I just found $300 on my job, man. Yeah, today is a good day, because I had 3 more days before my paycheck come, and I really went down there, and, I smoked a big bag of reefer with my paycheck, man, and I didn't have the money to make it, It must be a sign from God or something. I went down there and I gambled my money up the other night at the damn card game or at the fish table. And I didn't know how I was going to make it. I just found $300. So it must have been meant for me to find, because somebody else could have been on this line. They could have switched us over. And I was on time. That's what's called being in the right place at the right time. All right. Now, what I'm telling you is, all right. So at times, in wrecked cars, and I'm just telling you from when I was around 2015, I believe. I was working at a recycle yard, and had hard hats on, vest, steel toe boots, short sleeve. We outside, we ain't inside. So the heat outside, if it's raining and lightning, then we outside, we just got a little tin hut. And at times you need to wear your hard hat, because like I say, shrapnel. You talking about shrapnel yards, like when they crushing metal at these yards, shrapnel shit starts flying, like the man on SpongeBob, the smoking peanuts, spinning pearls 1,000 feet in the air type shit, you know what I'm saying? And metal just flying everywhere. So keep your hard hat on because that shit was come down and spank your ass head, you be dead, I know y'all all heard stories about they doing construction and people, the tape measure falls off the guy, and then you got somebody down there who ain't got his hard hat on, smoking a cigarette, and bam, tape measure hit him in the head from maybe 100 feet in the sky, and he dies and shit, So we're talking about safety precautions and shit. Be aware of your surroundings. And that's the same way where if you out there and you're doing a security job or you're doing like a security mission, to recover some assets for somebody overseas and they hired you as a special unit type shit. You need to know your blast radius, all kinds of shit, And like I say, it's not all about guns and shit in the military, it's about providing and doing your services. It offers a lot of branches, And you got guys where I start laughing about BB gun mafia, when we talking about ballistics and shit. He saying I shot him with this caliber gun and this, that, and half of that. That ain't even the right caliber and ballistics or what the fuck was supposed to go on. Like shooting somebody in the fucking head in the house in front of a damn wood wall, and the bullet didn't even tear the wall or the pieces that you shot in front of. That's unrealistic. So that's like the type of shit that we examine in these videos where they say, well, I killed such and such, man, and y'all about to give me some money, I'm gonna kill somebody else. Now, I rewind and tape, I say, you see the wall? That's an AI tape, that's a fake ass tape where some teenagers probably made it seem tough and shit, That's some BB gun mafia shit right there. Or some water gun or paintball theater mafia. And that's a Hollywood bully shot a nigga with. Alright? But, like I say, alright. And you might say I'm jumping around, but, if you follow, you follow. Alright, so there's a lot of shit that goes on, Then we got to get central intelligence, all that kind of shit, So I'm pretty much, since I've been a baby damn near, to tell you the truth, I thought the military was just a paper route job. I need to make money. I don't got no family. I got to rebuild my life, rebuild my family. And I need to make my own money to be able to provide. So I go to the markets. So if any job comes through, even if it's a job picking sweet potatoes or working on a peanut farm, as long as I get paid and have something to eat. So I was like pretty determined to survive. And I didn't want nobody to feel sorry for me because I ain't never do about that disaster, And, just realized that I might need this job a little more than that fucking wino over there, because I got a different situation. Alright, so back to what we was talking about with the scrap yards. Now, when a natural disaster hits, and I know y'all all see, on the news where they got a war in Iran and Israel going on against each other. And, they shooting, ballistic missiles back and forth with each other like it's a goddamn demolition zone. Well, after everything is settled down and everybody fucked around, because, ain't nobody letting nobody get last word, because, we go all night, nigga. We go, some niggas has been on for 30 fucking years now, and they still ain't friends because they still trying to get the last word on each other and shit, They start out as friends, but, somebody says some shit, and, I ain't gonna let you get the last word, you know what I'm saying? And once they finally reach an agreement, sort of kind of, when they finally reach an agreement, then it's gonna come to a point where they can get all their own soldiers shit to go out there, and they got their own building funds, and people are gonna come out there, and then everybody's gonna pretty much work together to try to rebuild the city and shit. And we try to calm them niggas down and shit up there who really fucking mad at each other over some stupid shit. But you let dumbass nigga from Washington come down here and say some stupid shit like that and fuck our relationship up. You know what I'm saying? And we from the same side of town and shit, man. She ain't sure letting shit like that go down. You know what I'm saying? You know better than that shit, boy. You know what I'm saying? Because you ever had, like, you ever had, like, a best friend, and then your best friend start hanging out with some dumbass nigga, and then that dumbass nigga caused a lot of trouble in your life, you know what I'm saying? Got you and your best friend to fighting, and the whole time, that nigga was there designed to break y'all up, to divide and conquer and shit. And then y'all finally came to an agreement that that nigga right there is who we need to stomp the fuck out. You know, that kind of shit. You know, but, you know, as far as, you know, when they tell you, you know, we are men of honor or women of honor and shit, that means, you know, we are held, you know, we are trusted not to burn the fucking house down at 10 years old when our parents are at work on second shift to provide for us, you know. So I'm trusting you to be here without a babysitter and shit, right? Well, that's, and you know, some people can really, you know, paint a perfect picture of what I'm fucking telling you, you know. Don't go over there and do that shit, man, 'cause you messed up, you know. You getting all off agenda by, you know, we sitting here to do one thing, you know. We sitting here to do a contract job to rebuild this place. And you over here stealing fucking tools and going on the AutoZone trying to sell it, or you taking the fucking tools, putting in your fucking trunk, not returning the motherfuckers, not showing up to work, because you got into it to steal a fucking tool set that you could have just fucking bought off your fucking first paycheck. But you said the tool set cost you fucking much, and you got $2,000, and tool set was only $50. But you said it cost you much because you get in the way of you know, snorting crystal meth and shit, or shooting a needle in your arm, all right? So a lot of people can't be trusted in these rebuild and construction sites. And when I talk about my past, and you know, we don't want history to repeat itself type shit. You know, so in the past, when people came to rebuild a neighborhood, and they was digging through the rubbles, they was finding, you know, deeds to houses, you know, identification cards, birth certificates, pictures of the people who died and shit, and, you know, canned foods, jewelry, you know, guns, bullets, you know, you might find a whole, in the right damn neighborhood, you might find 17 kilos laying up on this rubber, and you know how some people is, yo, man, he might go elbow his bro, like, yo, bro, it's like 17 kilos over there, man, let's make a run for it, man. He said, no, man, just leave it over. He said, let me see. It's 17 kilos for him. Hey, taste this shit, man. Let me get up. Don't that is 17 kilos, man. Hey, look. Go over there and put that shit in the cooler, man. Tear it up, you know. We can go have a party, man. And you know, we can be the plug when we get back, you know. You know what I'm saying? Fuck this shit, nigga. Hey, man, see what else you here, man. You know, and then, you know, that gets niggas to dig a little more and shit, man. Yeah, they was checking out all kind of shit, man. Hey, man, we got the rubber over here, man. We handling this side of town, man. Man, smells for the drugs in this side of town, man. Hell fucking yeah, man. I might call my cousin, but we about to make some flips right now, boy. Man, I got about 17 kilos, man. 17 kilos. Yeah, man, you know what? Yeah. Now, he probably don't know shit about cocaine being 1,000 grams a kilo, you know what I'm saying? He don't even know it's like 35 ounces. And man, shit, how much you ounce for that shit for, man? How much you a kilo, man? Shit, shit, a kilo right now, man, about $25,000, man. So $25 a gram? What do you mean, man? It's $25 a gram, man. Like, it's 1,000 grams of cocaine, man, you know? In a kilo, man, you know what I'm saying? So $25 a gram? Yeah. Hell yeah, man. You put some baking soda in that shit, man. We in business. Hey, boy, we about to make $25,000 right now, man. I'm gonna cut you in. I'm gonna share the rest of this shit, nigga. We gonna retire early, you know? And that's pretty much the kind of shit that happens when you go out there and start digging through rubble and shit. And that's just one scenario. And you out there cleaning up. You're on the cleanup and a recycle mission and a recover mission, you know, of anything that's lost for the surviving relatives to have, you know. Because sometimes we'll get identification cards of the dead, which they didn't do back in my case. They kind of did right then. They get the identification cards of the dead, and you know, pull the bloodline up. You know, like when I say pull the bloodline up, they start having birth certificates at one point where we start connecting birth certificates to see who's, you know, in the family for who's the surviving relative of this kid. You know, even though we got to go way up the charts to pull birth certificates for 100 years and figure out who's the cousins and who's the sisters and brothers, or, you know, who's the distant relatives that we can drop them off at. So when that kind of shit happens, you might be a little baby in America, and your ass might end up being dropped off in Mexico because your family probably came up here from Mexico on a citizenship to work on a farm, and you know they own, or your family might have moved to Mexico from up here to buy land and purchase a farm, and they've been living in Mexico for a while. Like your great uncle, he lives out in Mexico type shit, and you just a kid with no damn family. So we're gonna just see now you see great uncle house in Mexico because that's your only survivor relative type shit, and you never met him in your life, and then he might say, man, what kind of fucking scam is this? You just dropping some little kid off on my porch, man. I ain't no double service. And they explain to him, you know, his whole family died. Your family up there died. You know, like, you might be like 10 generations down. So we got to drop him off down here with you, you know. So make sure he can get him home safe. But sit him on in the house, you know. I check him out. You know, in the world of the names, you know, the name was, you know, Coopers and Hedge Bells. I said, you talking about Medical Park? Yeah, all right, take him on the house. Might not be my damn daughter pool cake, you know. It might not be my wine yard up there and shit, or my cousin wine yard. We go to the North all the time and have a good time. And laugh at the farms and shit. So you might be a newborn baby getting passed to your great uncle, you know, and you never knew your great uncle was a fucking Native American from Mexico type shit, you know. Or, you know, and then your great uncle might say, well, I can pretty much vouch for the mama side, and I'm down here in Mexico on the kidney bean farm, which I'm pretty much doing my thing, living my single life, man, so all my children is grown, and I just can't afford no babies. So I'm going to find out through my Mexican database what his dad name is, and then we just going to try to see if we can send him down there to his dad, you know, so it won't be all about the mama side. So I'm pretty sure the daddy side want to see him too. And then, you know, they might start putting records of your daddy and shit, and his whole family might live right there on the farm, and all of them died. And then, you know, you might end up in fucking South Vietnam with people that is like your family and shit, your distant relatives that they drop your ass off with on your dad's side, you know. And so you are an American citizen, but your mama's side, surviving relative, is in Mexico. Your daddy's side is in Vietnam. And you might not have even known his daddy was like, had Vietnamese blood and shit, like Southeast Asian blood. Because he looked like, you know, he's been blended through the system so many times that you might think he's just a regular old nigga with a jerry curls and slant eyes and a beard to be chilling, you know. And, you know, they start, you know, pulling up your ancestors to send you with your ancestors and shit. And then, you know, once you get there, you know how it is when they be saying, how long? They be scratching like, who is that baby? You know, how long you gonna be here? I'm like, all right, I'll see you later. And they be like, he gone on home. And the same way the man said, he gone on home. I'm glad he fucking gone. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was gonna be stuck with him. And then they might send your ass right back up there to Meat Park after the rebuild, and you by your fucking self again. You know, that type of shit happens. And then, you know, people might be saying, we need to find them a good family. And they're like, don't find them shit. We go out there and check on them time to time. You know, he got squirrels, rabbits out in the woods. And, you know, they might have that way of looking at it. He got squirrels, rabbits in the woods. She goddamn farm up there. He go up there. He need to learn how to survive when he's fucking on anyway, if he gonna be fucking tough. Now, I don't know where the fuck y'all from, but that's the kind of shit he needs to accept in life. Because if that shit happened to me, I won't want nobody around me no way. I was trying to figure some shit out. You know, he ain't big enough for no shit in the first place, so let the nigga survive like a little damn cub in the woods some shit. And I go up there time to time and check on them. I know people around there every go down and check on them. And after a while, you have people coming through it once in a while to check on you, make sure you got your canned foods and shit. And make sure you're doing what you got to do, you know, as far as getting your ass up, going to the damn farm, because it's your farm, and then your family might own the whole fucking farm, and they all died, so you inherited everything up there. So you stuck with maybe 10 miles, 20 miles, maybe 100 fucking miles of land. You never got nothing but farms and factories and slaughterhouses on it, you know. So it's plenty of work to keep you busy and keep your mind on your family and shit. So that situation right there might go down. But back to digging through the rubble. Now that's what I mean by digging through the rubble, and you find a surviving baby, and you find a birth certificate, and a driver's license to the parents. You know, you pretty much turn in with the baby, and you know they connect the dots. You get the baby to maybe a surviving relative that doesn't even live in the state or live in this part of town where everybody died. so we don't have to force his baby into an adoption clinic, and they can be with his family and continue on family values and shit. You know, versus going out there and taking all the goddamn IDs and shit, and, you know, being like Texas Chainsaw Massacre when he found a little girl and said, "It's your baby," and then put the baby in the car, and that Texas Chainsaw 3D shit, that kind of shit, you know. And sometimes the movies ain't even about girls. They just put a girl in that place. It's probably a little boy the whole time, you know, that kind of shit, you know. But we don't want to get sued, or we don't want to seem too obvious, you know, but this shit might happen to certain people. And, you know, and that's when I say, let's say we're going through the rubble, and the only way the baby survived because the baby was in a little baby crib when the roof fell in. So the damn roof didn't crush the baby because the boys to the crib caught it, and the baby survived like that or some shit, you know. And you might hear the baby out there hollering, and we don't want to get there too late, you know, and we don't want to be in the path of a storm, you know, the weather and shit, right? So when we get down there, we're going to pretty much do search and rescue missions, right? Because it could be survivors, you know, like where they showed you in Venezuela where the building crashed and they was pulling a little baby out the basement. See, everything crashed that was ground level, but they have a basement. The basement pretty much kind of, you know, shook up, but it was a baby in the basement where it might have been like, in certain buildings, you got upstairs, then you might have like 4 floors downstairs, like underground apartment basements. That's all, you know, in certain design modes to get, you know, you never know, you know, just to put more customers in that type of shit. And you know, and that situation right there is pretty much, you know, me painting a picture to you on search and rescue missions. Because at times in the military pretty much is more based on, you know, construction, doing reconstruction. And I don't mean about blowing people's shit up, or like reconstruction of disaster zones, you know, and, you know, search and rescue and recovery, you know, that's pretty much to make sure the inheritance to the survivors don't end up in the wrong hands. That's in, you know, like these jewel thief houses, or these people who start typing, these computer hackers and shit, where, you know, it don't end up in the wrong hands. You know, even to if you got a crooked politician or mayor, you know, we don't want these inheritance that is meant for these survivors who are not aware of what happened over there, you know, and they all share an inheritance together. So we're going to put that back over there with them. Instead of somebody saying, nobody's claiming it, so I guess we can dig into the fund and take it on down there and buy some C4 raining bombs and blow up some Afghans and shit. You know, that kind of stupid shit happens. Alright, so back to when I was young. So, like, that's what I'm leading up to. Everything is to a part. People coming out to rebuild, they start finding identities. They start finding, like, pictures of picture books. Like, she pretty and shit. And then, you know, you got guys up here, and they start pocketing identity cards. And, you know, and then you got, you know, sometimes it ain't even the fucking military. Back then, it wasn't the military. It was like, you know. All right, let's say, so when they connected the dots and they sent me to Mexico, and I found out, you know, well, we'll send them down there to Guzman, you know, because the head spread bloodlines goes back to, like, the Guzmans. Just, you know, you pretty much can see the nose and shit. And then, you know, like Guzmans had, like, a nose, like, you know, like little Chihuahua, them type nose and shit. And then, you know, you go to Slines, you know, Slime, they pretty much have, like, a little beak type nose, you know. You know, you got, it's like different breeds of human and animal type shit, you know. Hard to describe. And then, you know, you might have some family that's down there, you know, like South Vietnamese people, they got slanted big eyes and, you know, and heads and shit. You got, you know, like bone stretchers and facial features and shit. And then they pretty much, you know, it's like recognize somebody. You know, it's like when you walk in the store and you say, I know the motherfucker ain't white, the motherfucker ain't black. You know, I don't want to offend a nigga and call him a Mexican, so I'm like, I mean, you're Puerto Rican or something, and, you know, I didn't want to ask you, you know, but it was kind of, you know, kind of fucking with my mind, man, because I seen, you know, when I see niggas like you, I know you, you can look at me and tell him I'm a black dude, man, and you can look at him and say he's a white dude, man. But ooh, you like a Puerto Rican and shit, man. You know. I ain't profiling this shit, man. I just want to do this shit for public record, you know what I'm saying? Because I met a couple niggas like you, and they can speak English and shit, or niggas are Puerto Ricans and shit. Basically, when they say Puerto Ricans, they pretty much saying like Native Americans or some shit like that, or like Hablo Espanol niggas and shit. You know, when I say Hablo Espanol, it mean like, how can I explain to you? That's what that shit means, all right? But, all right, so, in my case, let's say, now I'm a baby now. And, you might say, I can't remember shit when I was a baby, man. Shit, I remember first grade, when some tragic shit like that happens in your mind as a baby, you can't remember. I can remember being a baby, laying in my fucking baby crib, in the front room of this little white house in Midtown Park with a big-ass brown restaurant. He like a Freddy Krueger heater. And I still remember what my baby crib looked like, even though it was destroyed and damaged. It had like a piece of, it was like dark stained wood, and it was kind of like a pass on the film. It had like a chip in it where the wood had broke off, where you see like the type of wood it was, and it had like a little mattress in it. And I can still remember standing up here in my damn, like pulling myself up in the middle of the night. You know how babies be pulling on the rail and just standing like this and looking around. I can still remember shit like that, man. I was 39 years old, man. But and then so if I can remember that shit, I can remember, when the neighborhood was pretty much rebuilt, and then they started bringing all kinds of people down there off these picture books, pictures they found, these driver's license and shit that they recovered, and these birth certificates that they all recovered from the rubble of the neighborhood. So they was gonna try to reconstruct the whole neighborhood and put the same people that looked like the people that died in the hurricane down there. And that's when they started, like holding auditions. So it came to a point where they took me to Mexico. And I was like my great uncle house in Mexico, down in Jalisco and shit. This was his home state. They took me down to like the Agave farm type shit. And Uncle Slime, Grandpa Slime, he gets looking into the pictures and shit. And then he said, hey, and he, like, when you have an identity, like, let's say somebody give you a driver's license, and you start getting a driver's license, what is this? Some pretty girl or something, some dumbass nigga, what's going on? What? And since I look like this, what's the joke? It ain't no joke. So some people take driver's license, like, all right, I get the diamond glass out, and I see, is this shit real or is it fake? And I see how valuable it is. Alright? It's like buying an authentic fucking baseball card or something. So, Slime pretty much was like in the military in Mexico. He had like seniority rank and shit. And he dug into it. He had all kinds of, he'll reach on the desk when I'm sitting on the floor in the pamper. He'll reach on the desk and he'll get the damn. Back then they had like the recorder type thing with the whole earphone, like the military phone. Cause they had like the farm phone, I ain't really no fucking wires and Travis shit out here. So I get the farm phone and call it to the military. And I need y'all to do a report, put up some stuff on the file, computer type, put up a database file. And I need you to find out the assets of this name right here because they showed up with a baby on my porch and they say I'm connected to it. And I'm like the surviving relative type shit. Well, he's a newborn type shit, And I sure appreciate it and hang up. And then, then he pick your said, little boy, you gonna hit the mother loop. Because I got all this form right here, and I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna do with this. And here, half the time, I don't even working like the damn birds and the bees eat it, But when you go back to the north, you can have everything just like us. Hold him on the porch shit. And, he just showing him everything, And I knew my family was responsible enough to have an inheritance set up with all the farms and stuff that was going, and your ass was just a newborn, and they ain't had a chance to put you on the inheritance yet. But sometimes, they'll put your name on the inheritance, while she's pregnant, and she came up with a name for you. So, that's gonna be like the first thing. Make sure he get his cut of the farm and shit. if anything might happen, he might be the only one survive that shit. Just to make sure thieves don't get it like grave robbers. And because the Mexican, like Slime, Mexican, like Jalisco didn't need my money. They got their own farms and shit, And at times, money ain't important. What's important is getting your ass down there and picking them goddamn beans and them cucumbers off the field so we can load the markets up and shit. And down there, we don't give a fuck if you got a zillion dollars, motherfucker. You still gotta take your ass down there and wash dishes at that fucking restaurant, man. You know what I'm saying? That's your responsibility, you know what I'm saying? That's like getting your ass up and washing dishes in your fucking house. You can just let the bitch lay all around the fucking house and then you got niggas to like trouble with them. I just buy paper plates and shit like that, And I'm saying, Gooch, man, you can't mighty far in fucking life, man. Just buy paper plates and throw away, man. You better be recycling them bitches too. When you about to get your ass up and go to the recycle yard, make sure the motherfuckers end up in the right fucking hands and then come back to the neighborhood, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So there's always something to fucking do besides sit around and smoke fucking drugs and watch fucking Telemundo doing shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much like the mindset of being the fuck down there on those farms and stuff. So man, we still talking past. So when Slime figures out it's the inheritors up there, he says hold everybody up, stop the cleanup crew that's up there. I'm gonna bring my own unit up there. I'm gonna see what's going on in the farm, and I decide how to restructure the neighborhood. Because I knew how I looked. When I was younger and I used to go up there, so I redesigned the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And that's Pearl, my house right there. And when I get to saying this shit, it's like I have a gloom of me being little and seeing, Grandpa Slime pouring that stuff and like holding a cigarette. And he's like, hold on, we gotta be just perfect now. Because when I ride back through this sucker, I want to see everything like it was, like storm never happened, And he get smoking and shit. And then I'm over him. And then one day we were sitting on the porch and I'm having a conversation with him. And I'm remind him of something that he don't know because he's just a newborn. And I've been up here plenty times. And I know we got them girlfriend Patty ain't there. My baby Patty, my damn baby mom Patty. And then he get the fucking crying. God damn, I'm still with him up real. I want his hands on Patrick. See that administration with. When you work on farms, once you clear the farm, you got to go on the road to another farm. And you might have farms out of the country and out of state. And that's how, because the weather patterns might still be good. So farming ain't seasonal work at time, Farming is year-round work. But, I'm just telling you how I got stuck with Grandpa Slime, who was down at the farm with Mexico. And he was my mama's daddy. Her name is Pooh K. And he named the Pooh K after the wine of the agave. Because if you know anything, Jalisco, I call it Jalisco, It's like the producer, they got the right environment to grow a lot of agave that makes tequila. But before you make the goddamn, the liquor through the fermentation pipes, you have to have your wine, and the wine is called Pooh K. And then once you go through the fermentation pipes, they name it tequila. And then, my mama's name was Pooh K. My sister's name was Tequila, and that's, pretty much the names and shit that we was given, as far as her side of the family. And, so, after all that shit goes down, they get to rebuild the neighborhood, and then, Slime, at times, when you got a family on the farm, and then, let's say we got a farm in the north. We got a farm in the north. Like, parts the west side of the world. It's like, it's just like you got a cousin that live in New York and shit, and you might live out in motherfucking Florida, and y'all only met each other a couple of times through a family reunion, but they was y'all younger growing up before y'all time. And they used to come up there and have parties and recipe parties, all kinds of stuff, because they pretty much own factories, and the farm made so much money at the time where they had to get their own factories to package and label the stuff to put it in their own markets. And then they started being on the phone with each other discussing recipes, because back then, long distance calling, on certain spots you had long distance calling. A lot of people A lot of people don't got law just call them because hell, I only know like 5 or 6 locals and know much in my neighborhood and shit. You know, as far as reaching their city type shit. So I ain't got to call way down there. So Slime gets the goddamn, he gets the, when you're younger. Let's say you're younger and you came over there, you met a girl on the phone and y'all kind of swagged and had a baby and you met everybody and you ain't came up there in a while to sit on the porch because they on the farm, the family's on the farm with them, And I'm going back to this farm and I'm gonna keep an eye on this farm, make sure, the water's coming in and everything's harvesting right, So we're still talking to each other on the phone, but I'm down in this location and you stationed up there on the farm. So he comes back and he started telling me about, and then Slime, and Slime, when you go down there to rebuild a neighborhood, the whole neighborhood is demolished. All right. So now before you get anybody to go down there and say be a contractor, they start building something. We ain't doing that shit. I want to look just like back in the motherfucking 80s and 70s when I used to go down here. And he just a baby. He don't really know nothing about it. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him up with the mentality the rest of the children had, to get up and go play baseball and walk to the farm, and be independent, because short people got short people farm. He gonna end up on the peanut farm because peanuts is like, tall people can't work on the peanut farm. And this is what Granddad explaining, because it called him out of the blue like it called us out of the blue. And now me and him stuck together. And in a way, if this never would have happened, I probably would never met Granddad. And so, and this is like, and this ain't like, y'all talk about like going to the VA and shit. This like the first time that I ever talked about it. I don't even got a therapist. I got a check for some, for like schizophrenic type bipolar depression, where it ain't what bipolar depression, because I ain't never really thought about none of this shit. I'm still, in service and listening for income and all kind of shit. I still got my implant put in, but so when you talk to me, and then I guess they done some records and was like, what the hell going on? What's going on with Chief, man? He still in duty. And then they start explaining, Chief kind of sick, man. He going through depression, all kind of shit. And he probably need a VA. And man, I don't take attention to Band-Aids. I ain't had a Band-Aid since I'm a little boy with opioids to calm me down type shit. Because war ended up breaking out over some stolen inheritance, which they couldn't accept the fact that Slime and, that my family was from Mexico type shit, where the distant relatives from Mexico, and I was up here in Carolina all alone, and then they had all this bullshit going on where y'all Mexicans can't be the fuck up here without passports and shit, and then, the United States government is gonna seize this property, all kinds of shit, and then so we got an inheritance on it, and I'm just up here for him because he's gonna inherit the farm, and he's gonna be a rich man one day when we started doing what we was doing in the beginning before we met your ass coming up on this conversation. Well, lock these illegals up, all kind of shit. They illegally over here. Look, man, all that illegal border shit. And he had, really has clearance to be the fuck down here because he's with me and he's pretty much gonna sign the paperwork to take me home with him because he's my grandpa and he just live down there on a goddamn kidney bean or tomato farm. It's making a lot of money. It's then sold all over the world and restaurants know. So he's gonna pretty much be my guidance in my education in life on how to pretty much manage all of this inheritance I got. And after that, they come over there, the guy said like stand there, like and then Slime was like, I'm the chief of police down in Mexico type shit, I got my sheriff's badge, all kind of shit, because at the time it's like mandatory for us, never know. And we do our military stuff for storm repairs, because El Nino might come through and tear the whole damn neighborhood up like this right here just happened, and we might have to rebuild. And as far as one of our surviving ancestors might be up in North Carolina, and they might go do the same thing down there. So we're gonna need somebody with understanding education to carry on instead of an adoption agent. All right. So some suits and coming on bullshit. And I don't know if somebody. I think Slime on somebody with. I ain't lying with goddamn self, man. I need somebody to go fetch me goddamn Pepsi Cola time. So get Joanne somebody go fetch me Pepsi Cola some shit. This damn stove shit. How far I got to drag it goddamn Pepsi Cola? Man, talking, wipe with sweat on the damn face. Think about how we go down, resurface this down neighborhood to make it look like it's back. She wanted it to look like when I used to come down here and have a good time grooving. And I started saying the card house up there and stuff. You know how it is when you ain't been somewhere in a long ass time. And then you start catching all kinds of memories because this place is just total hell now. And so I'm trying to figure out where we're going to put everything else and reinstate it. Even if nobody ever moves in it, we're going to take it and we're going to put their pictures in it. The pictures for the rubble and it's going to be in the houses. And we'll go in there from time to time and we'll sit down and I'll tell you a story about these people when we're growing up. And we just sit there because you probably ain't know names. Sit there and I tell you about, they play a game of cards, see that man picture over there? That Jay Henry. That motherfucker them swinging them hammer. Oh good, he's showing them up, I go with the folks start telling stories about it to pride and working. But like I say, I never really got this moment in my life where I got a chance to sit down by myself and, really, reminisce about nothing that was happening because everything's been moving so fast. I'm a kid. Alright, so, and I don't know if at one point I've been had like a digital recorder in me since I've been a child, and it was connected to a satellite gloom so to keep an eye on me, and everything's been recorded. So I don't know if somebody's over there playing in the satellite zone and they playing these memories back for me or some shit, and it's like causing flashbacks and shit where. I don't know if it's a distraction or something, but everything was pretty much documented. And one day your little ass gonna wake up, bro, and it's almost like the Richard Pryor tale. You ever seen Bruce's Millions when they showed him his great uncle was a white man who had a bunch of money and shit? Boy, you might spend that $300 million, you might spend it wisely, but you got other money. Don't because you don't spend it wisely, you can fuck it all up and then you know how to trace with it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of other stuff we need to, what I mean was that $300 million, that's a little play money type shit. Go down there, make some investment, get your own stuff. But it's all the money that I'm telling you, it's money that we've been working on from, drugstores to sell cold medicine and stuff. And I need to know if I can trust you with some money first. All right? So that's where we're going with it. And, so I really never thought about it. And then along the way, as a child, I spent a little time in Mexico. And then, they say, for one, we're going to dig, we're going to let the family, and Slime said, of course I got plenty of family down here, shit, I got brothers, sisters, cousins, all kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? I met Patty and Mom over there, we all go there, we was swinging and talking, doing the cars, you know what I'm saying, beef horns, do church moon, I want to have a little glad, talk about recipes for them, that kind of thing, we respect them family, and down home family, alright? So, and then Slime said, well, let's dig through the rubble. We're going to dig through the rubble. When you dig through the trash of the house, like the house tore apart, there's picture books in there. It might be a fucking purse with some money. Like I just explained, all kinds of scrap metal wires and the kitchen sink and the goddamn refrigerator might have survived, or it might find some fucking scrap noodles or something in there, you might find, you might find all kinds of shit. Might be some shit that was in the freezer that still froze, that's trying to thaw, and I can take the bologna to cook me a damn sandwich up, cause hell, and then somebody might say, hold on, boy, we the goddamn bologna, put the bologna in the goddamn shell, we trying to cover the bologna, that might be the last goddamn piece of bologna down here, and it might be a survivor down here underneath the goddamn bologna, so ain't nobody giving no free wins, you know what I'm saying, as you get down there, and they start digging through the rubble, and then, he get all the pictures together, and then, he said, well, I'm going to go ahead and put all this to the side for him, like in a vault. So, he'll have it all when he starts to grow up. And after we look at Meetup Park, we're going to get in the car. I said, Sadie, get in the car. So, Sadie like one of the damn, like one of the Guzman type girls where Patty and them family were pretty much. Guzman were like a lighter. Some of the Guzman like Cooler Cane color, like lighter skin, Chihuahua type dogs. And the rest is, the bird show down there in Lisco, right? So we doing bird hunting now, all right? Slime dog, he sniffing around. Well, in both ways, slime is like the eagle eye, and Shady, she like the damn dog sniffing around. Like, what's this? Like, this might be damn Judy over here, And if you ever work on the phone, you might say, man, there's a lot of Mexicans working on them. Ain't Mexicans, them Native American shit. Alright? It don't matter what, they just from this side, right? Native Americans, You can tell that they ain't foreigners, So, we get there, and, I'm still a little baby. And we get to ride through, Arrowhead Town, which y'all call Holliston and shit. And, go down there. Go to Bush Town, go all through there, And he changed shit down. He changed shit to Bethlehem, like his goddamn strip joints down there. Over here, then he changed the answers, all kind of shit, like we in goddamn, we in Europe somewhere, all kind of shit. Some goddamn treasure hunter down there trying to scout some shit out, behind everybody's back. Alright, so after that, because my granddaddy from Alicia, he'll get on the prop dust and he'll come up there and fly, or he had like a private plane type shit to fly to make it up there. Y'all want me to come up there and spray down the phone? It's all like your granddaddy calling, your granddaddy grandma together, but your granddaddy still, in y'all family. And he don't really talk to nobody. He'll call your grandma, he'll call your mama and shit. And, in that situation right there, I ain't got shit to do with nobody else besides my grandma, granddaddy, and mama, Grandma got other children and shit too, probably. But they ain't about the same man, But sometimes, when y'all got long distance relationships, you probably meet somebody else type shit. Alright. So, you know how it is, your granddaddy, it's like having a granddaddy. Let me explain to it the American way. It's like having your daddy live in Florida. And you live up there you live in Maryland somewhere, and your mama pretty much lives in New York and shit. Or you and your mama live in New York and your dad live in Florida. And your mama and dad ain't really together, and your daddy not having a good time. And he said got the grill, he said, boy, I got the grill, and your mama and dad ain't no good term. But they probably still no good term. He might call there, he always got a way to make y'all smile. So y'all want to bring y'all some of that good ass fish up there, boy, I'm cooking like fish. And ain't that fish should be fucking cold before you get away from fucking Florida. And that's good now, And when we come down there and spray the crops for y'all, shit, I still got your order in the damn plane right now, He's still in the zone. Hell, I can spray a couple more for him and shit. What think about where else got it for me? And so you want me to go in there? But we did a bunch of that shit. Alright. So after Slime comes and he pretty much checking out the hedge spell for him, like the hedge path. The hedge path was like, we laid this concrete down here so we can get down through these paths and shit. He kicking up dust and mud, all this shit. So we're gonna pave the road out, so we can travel through there. And kicking up dust, people on the farm, all kind of shit. So pave the motherfucker out so we can get to the farm and shit. Made the road a little smoother. And there's always something to do. Keep going with roots. So, especially in farm town, you dragging the motherfucking truck bed and goddamn, truck bed and bouncing taters falling on the goddamn path and shit, smooth road out there shit. You know what I'm saying? So everything fit. And he's funny. And I don't see why this punk motherfucking nigga named, man, look. In the middle of us having a regular fucking meeting, you start telling me about some fucking nigga named Tommy Boone, who's probably trying to claim a fucking inheritance and trying to fuck. And then this, if you ask anybody who is like a person of royalty or something, it's always some fucking guy trying to throw his fucking 12-year-old daughter in your fucking 25-year-old lap to man, let her marry into your family. Look, motherfucker, hit the fucking road, man. We got shit going on, okay? He's coming over here trying to marry into like some Beauty and the Beast stupid shit. I mean, but anyway, like I said, even though we talking right now, there's still a lot of other shit going on because we pretty much trying to spy on this motherfucker. We're trying to figure out this guy's fucking motives and where the fuck this guy at as I'm talking to you. This shit's still going on, but I got a minute to talk. And that's why I say you don't want to get to the point where you like chief commander of the military and you started from scratch, where you didn't have no choice but to start because it's mandatory, right? And it's like being on a business call and goddamn your reception keep walking in with some stupid shit. Look, bitch, shut the fuck up, man. That shit can wait for later on that shit, Well, we got Bob Dylan on line 3. He's asking what kind of piece of bread you want to eat. I don't want no goddamn piece of bread. That's an important phone call, that shit. And with all that said, back to digging in the rubble. So, you might say, well, we the United States Marine Corps, and we going down there to clean up a flood that happened in North Carolina with FEMA. The military pretty much is like FEMA type people. You got to have good goddamn people to go the fuck down there and clean up. Then you need to realize, all right, let me fast forward it to today's world. So, current events. You just seen that earthquake in Venezuela. You seen that building collapse. You know that they said it was they gave you estimate maybe 900 people in it. But they don't know for sure. Because some of them people might not have been in fucking home. Alright, some of them might have been at fucking work out of town. So we can't say who the fuck is dead right now. Or we don't know what the fuck's going on. Alright? All we know is we got to figure out who stays there. Call around, see if anybody seen them, anybody heard, is their phone still in service. Alright, boom. So that's what we need to be finding out. What the fuck is going on under the rubble before we allow anybody to go the fuck over there who's a stranger that probably has their own motives when they get the fuck down here to find all kinds of jewelry and, shit that might have insurance on it that's supposed to be passed down to their daughter that's all set in stone. Okay? People, and then when you dig through the rubble, it's people that live there and their bank cards and their wallets and all that shit was in the rubble. So we need people that we can trust that go down there that won't take the bank card and go out there and say, man, I just found a bank card. Let me call this shit and see what's on it. I got my buddy White, man. He know how to hack shit like this. And $500,000 on it. Shit, man. Fuck this military job, man. I'm going AWOL type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you might have people, or, you say, well, I don't even need Mike on this one. I got the picture of the lady's identification card or the wallet and a bank card. I'm going to call Sadie Ann or Kathy Lee or somebody and tell them, pull this lady up through the Facebook. And then, your military might say, hell yeah. You might call me and say, y'all want to get rich? We're like, yeah. Look, man, I just found the guy. Look, y'all got to have y'all figures here, man. Look, man, pull up this name here in this driver's license number, all right? Now, go through the face scan database and see if anybody that looks like her that we can hire to go down to that bank and pretend to be this lady and say she lost her bank card. And I got all the bank information. We dig through the rubble in Venezuela. And then we'll pay her maybe 10 grand and shit just to play a role in an acting movie. And they asked her how she get. She said, well, I'm traumatized because I lost a lot of stuff down there. And my stuff was all in the house. So then we're going to try to recover this asset account. And then hey, we're gonna hit the road. We'll be rich as hell. And like I was saying, and everybody knows the old saying, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound? Now, with that said, I'm gonna dig into you. Alright, if somebody fucking dies in a fucking flood and nobody knows he's dead, does it make a sound? He's dead. I took the fucking ID from him. I gave it to somebody else. They just start walking around living their life on that fucking ID of that dead person that nobody knows washed away in that flood. Alright? So we got an identity theft, and he's just walking around trying to claim an inheritance, or these are rich people, so I'm gonna send you the fuck up there so you can be the surviving member of the family, you know, because don't nobody know he did type shit. Right? So these are like, can I trust these people down here to clean up? Same way down in Asheville with the damn flood and the storm, you know, you just don't want anybody down there cleaning up because they start going through the rubble and shit. And most time people just get the bulldozer and scrape it all up, you know, throw the shit on the goddamn line, and we're running through, you know, the recycle yard, and hell, they ain't gonna benefit shit off it, but we gonna pretty much sell the copper and shit, and y'all don't have to worry about shit, you know. Well, we'll just want to take the bulldozer and scrape it all up, and you'll pay me whatever scraps on the ground, you know. I'll take the scrap on the ground as payment, and then they go out there and start, you know, scrapping all the metals and shit. And then all the metals and shit, they try to make money off the metals on the scrap yard and the salvage yard so they can remelt it, turn it to condos or some shit. And then they might be finding all kinds of driver's license. Well, hell, this is a good damn driver's license. Hell, Cindy Maker can use this driver's license. She's damn drunk. She looks just like her. You know, that kind of shit. You know, and they might take the clothes and sell the clothes at the thrift store, all kinds of stuff. You know, and you might not be worried about it. You say, man, I'm just glad I survived. But you don't know that there's a lot of identity theft shit that goes on behind the scenes in some of these jobs, you know. So we gotta be careful about who the fuck we sending down there. Sending the wrong motherfucker down there, you'll have a Medoc punk all over. Alright? So in my case, after Granddaddy them come around and look at everything, we going back to Lisco. You know, we'll stop down here and we'll see Goose and Slime, you know, I ain't informed them and shit, you know. Some people tend to hard, so I inform. You know, but everybody, you know, I'll be here at church pretty much. It kind of inspired. I'll be here at church pretty much, then kind of inspired. Roof shit came up, bitch, whatever, you know. But, you know, in the middle of the night, the storm came through and tore the bitch up like midnight Berkeley, you know what I'm saying? And, nobody was survived. So, after this, and this line go down, he said, well, let me go down here and get my buildings and stuff together, you know. And I'm going to tell them how to set it up and stuff, you know. We got our own tin, you know. We'll do our own recycling and stuff, you know. So what we're going to need down here in Medoc Park is we're going to need a train cart, you know. We can get on, we're going to lay the tracks and stuff with a train cart so we can pretty much get a train system to go to connect to another train system so we can run it down to the train yard, you know, instead of us getting the fuck down here and doing a bunch of other shit. And having to, you know, take loads all over the road and some of the stuff get missing. You know, so I want to recycle everything. I want to do it just how it was. You know, so we had a train system to go through there. And it was collecting all kinds of metal and shit from the rubber. So around this time, I was in Mexico growing up. And we were redoing Medoc. And I come every time, like, he need to see this type shit, you know. He need to know what to do if it ever happen again. Alright, so, I guess the rebuilding. Alright, so I was in Medoc, and as a grown up, it wasn't a state park phone. It was a brick building across the road from the White House. That was my military station phone, okay? Somehow, some goddamn Boy Scouts go down there, somebody, they run the land and shit, so we had to destroy that little building. It was another building with a flagpole right in front of Katie Maker House, alright? That was a brick building. That's not on my service station. Then there was a trail to go through the woods right there beside it where you go all the way through, and I end up at Nanny Coon house. Alright? Nanny Coon was my granddaddy side of the family from Vietnam type shit. So we'll send some of the family down there, the kids stuff, make it feel lovable. Alright. And then, you know, we'll just leave Ned ass up there. Cause Ned don't do shit. We let the girls sit in the house and hang out and do each other hair. And she sit on the porch and lick it and make fun of us. Say, look at this ugly cross-shot motherfucker here. And, you know, Ned make a good babysitter for y'all. Alright? And she don't talk about never fish-wise shit. Alright, so. And, you know, she pretty good. She got a good, you know, a good humor about her. So we need somebody up there to keep him joyful and shit. And, you know. As far as how to sit her, I ain't just put anybody fuck up there because folks come up there and they got the wrong attitude, try to change the baby diaper until collecting hair type shit. So I was pretty much surrounded by family from Mexico and from over in Southeast Asia and South Asia and shit. After everything went around. So then motherfuckers started digging in the goddamn crates again. Now everybody's digging in the crates. I don't know if the world news and shit were, you know, message though. You know, she's a message, so that means she's half European or some shit. And now they trying to contact people all in Europe and shit. And I ain't all up in fucking Europe at the United Kingdom and shit. Then they said, well, he's a Pardo type man. He's, he got black in him. Now I'm ending up in fucking Africa and shit. They're retracing my goddamn roots everywhere. I mean, I was like the first motherfucker, maybe whoever had an ancestral DNA test done, where I got a chance as a little boy to go see my whole goddamn family all over the world that shit. And they must have traced my fucking DNA back to goddamn dinosaurs and shit, you know what I'm saying? The niggas even trying to tell me that I was a fucking, they trying to take me to Stonehenge temples and shit, you know, like, you know, this way you got Uncle Ernest used to live in and shit, when they was down here selling cocaine and wine and shit, you know what I'm saying? They was trying to relate to me, you know, like back in goddamn caveman time, they was selling cocaine and wine and shit, they were like the first bandits and shit, first settlers, you know. I was looking at this fucking kid, you know, some Fred Flintstone shit. Them niggas took me over back to Bedrock with Fred Flintstone and Barney fucking Rubble and shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even fucking 2 years old good. You know? And there's a lot of shit that was going on while the neighborhood was being rebuilt. And that shit was going on. They was like, we need to get some life down here, man. Cause I ain't shit really down here but us. And damn, where's Cooler Cat ain't no man? Cooler Cat, I'd be down. And then, you know, he didn't really think it was gonna touch him, you know. Like a goddamn bomb zone went up down here, man. Whole goddamn neighborhood, 2 all pieces, you know. The slime thing gonna touch him when he started looking for, you know. When I used to go down here, the goddamn kids were outside, they get talking, they playing cards, when we got them truck on kind of shit. It was like a lively environment, you know. It's like when you going on, it's like when you get to New York and it's 9/11 and the whole fucking building is destroyed. And, you know, you get somebody who come down and say, man, what's your name, man, you know, what the fuck's going on, you know what I'm saying? And this shit don't feel right, you know, it's like, I'm at a lost words type shit, you know? And I might be, so folks, I might get, say, damn, who else can I call? I'm in the north, man, who else can I call? I got a goddamn flat, man, I need to call somebody. And, after a while, you know, people was listening and shit to see what the hell's going on. So I don't know if they ended up trying to do some, I guess the news or something fucked around and got into it. And then you know how these goddamn guys who make these movies like Twist and shit, and they say, well, hell, man, let's see what the cameras look like. Let's jump right on it. So they fucking like everybody was pretty much, you know, we haven't even finished doing rebuilding this shit. Then you got fucking Hollywood jumping on to me, yo, let's do like a movie about it and a documentary type shit based on a true story. Don't say it's based on a true story because then we had to pay somebody. Let's just do a movie about it, find out what it look like. So everybody pretty much pulling up the obituaries and death certificates. And now they sending people down there that look like fucking Claire Making. And then they down there, all kinds of shit. And Slime is like, what in the hell is going on, man? I told y'all this is probably no fucking news cameras. You know? So one lady came down there, and she said, this is the end type shit. And this is it. And then Slime was like, I know fucking well you ain't just sending somebody to fuck down here that look like my daughter Pooh-K, and like she my fucking wine baby, and she not pretending to be my fucking baby and shit. And Slime got mad and grabbed and said, bitch, that's the most disrespectful shit you ever fucking do. And who the fuck sends down here? Y'all ain't supposed to know about it. This supposed to be a closed door sex between the family. And then the lady told me, hey, I'm not here to dance groove. And Slime was already like thinking about how we're gonna redo the neighborhood and the septic water and see what else is fucking damaged and what can we all, you know, dig through the scraps and shit. And he's still like in memory zone of what the fucking look like, what the loose look like. You imagine you just came home and your whole fucking neighborhood tore to pieces and you seem like, damn, man, but them used to stay right there and shit. Them niggas probably playing cards or some shit, you know? And everybody dead. And then, you know, Slime told her, show me what you got. So the girl, she comes in a yellow goddamn shirt, like a yellow tank top, little bra, some blue jeans, looking like some bitch off a Chainsaw Massacre video. And like, she out there just dancing and shit. And like a hippie on Chainsaw Massacre before she get chopped the fuck up type shit. And Slime sitting there, he's just like, you know how it is, like, and this thing goddamn time, in the middle of a fucking tragedy, when we trying to rebuild, you sending fucking Hollywood actors down here, you know. And then Slime get up and say, don't forget your baby, Odo. Don't forget your baby. Get your baby. And I ain't mine. And that's how the bitch acting. Slime said, I figure the bitch was a deadbeat mama and some shit. He said, I'm gonna call down Venezuela because they might not have even been the fuck up here. They might have been up here on the fucking Silver Squad, and this shit might have been going on before they started alarm me or what the fuck needs to be going on. So the military probably came with this bitch and told this motherfucker all peace. This probably ain't in no fucking storm zone. It probably just a fucking dead zone where they trying to recover some goddamn life pictures to stage a fucking Holocaust or a fucking, stage or inheritance or shit. What kind of shit them suits trying to do behind your back up there who ain't got no farm money. So they get fucking mad that people sell them on loaf of bread, then they can fucking buy. You know what I'm saying? And a bunch of stuff was pretty much going on at that time. And like I told you, I'm a little baby, so I'm like every second I'm being molded by the sounds, like I'm learning the sounds and the natural sounds of like what they sound like, So if you got somebody who look like somebody and they don't make the same animal type sounds as other motherfucker makes, I can pretty much tell you that ain't them. And I didn't promise nobody a fucking movie role or none of that shit, But it's and then you gotta realize, this is like the story. It's like the talk of the town, the story of the century. So we didn't want nobody digging through the picture books or through the rubble to find a bunch of pictures of people that they can say, hey man, I bet that girl had some nice tits. You know how guys be out there drinking fucking colas and shit. Dealing them kind of fucking tired, and he just sitting there grooving with, yeah man, she had some hair, man, had some nice tits, man. All right, let's dig the rest of this rubble and shit. Keep the guys inspired and see what else y'all can find and shit. And then, there's something. Then you don't want people out there looking and say, whoa, wait, man, look at her. That's a centerfold on my wall tonight. In my trailer, I'm doing the cleanup and shit. And then, people start disrespecting, the cleanup crew and shit. Where this stuff is supposed to be recovered, and if it can be brushed off, these pictures are not, they're priceless. Because we can't go back in the time and recreate these moments in their life. And then, my mama, to this day, the lady they call Pookie down there in Meadow Park, she swear up and down that she don't got no pictures when she was a little girl. Because her daddy took no picture when he got down here. Slime took his picture of his baby with him. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no goddamn body who come up here and claim my goddamn baby, just like that bitch who came on that Chainsaw Massacre video came down here, having ready to strike her, but I ain't that far from it. But anyway, back to what we was talking about, Get that woman on that road somewhere, get her shoulder, because she probably feeling faint, and she probably feeling faint from all the disaster and shit. She probably not here to help rebuild or something, Good job. I put it, you said fucking Hollywood I saying, I put the ass to work. That man was a lumber, it was a wood. Once you try to do something other, then sit on TV and talk stupid about inheritance, they trying to claim through fucking Hollywood. Even if you can't even claim the inheritance through the courts, you still try to claim the inheritance through Hollywood by selling my fucking life story through TV, and I don't get a dime, and you get paid like the fucking newspaper. You're not allowed to do that kind of shit, especially like I said. But it was a lot of shit that was going on, and I have grown folks in my corner, and I have a lot of people in my corner all the time. So what they saying was, we can't let nothing happen to dude his inheritance type shit. So, like I said, and when I say like the whole town got killed, I mean like the whole Halifax. Halifax only was so big, and this storm probably was goddamn 20 miles big. That bitch tore everything up. You know what I'm saying? Tore everything up. So we had to rebuild the whole town. And if you wasn't from that area, you probably found out maybe months or years later of what happened. Versus I'm right next door and I got to pass through there to go to the lumber yard, maybe 45 miles to Lumberton or somewhere. And it's a detour because they doing a road construction or some shit. And they don't release the information, have people out here sightseeing or have planes and shit taking pictures of it, saying, we can come down here and steal some copper wires and pipes from them. Make us a little damn petroleum bill money. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't even got like that. Alright. There's no way page here. Alright, so I forgot this one thing. Sometimes let the bitch go dead. Everybody's running through the ground and needs restart. Alright. So, with that said, the neighborhood is pretty much under construction. And if you don't work in the construction zone or you're not hired by the family to be in the construction zone, then you're not allowed in the construction zone. So you got to roll, all right? I know you might say, well, Johnson Creek got a good construction zone. No. This is a private matter where we're going to get out there and we're going to dig through the mess. And, you know, what you're saying is with the bulldozer, I wouldn't mind you do the bulldozer and scrape it off on the shake machine, scrape all the dirt off it, and see what we can have in the trash pile, which ain't no pretty much pictures. And then have the metal piles and shit. So that's kind of stuff that has to go on, like, behind, like, on the Saturday evening at a metal shaker yard, you know, like a recovery type yard, metal recovery yard. So that'll be a good start for us getting the bulldozers up, load them on the truck, put a special note on, put the address on it, you know what I'm saying? Put the address on each truck. We shake these off, and then put it back on the truck. You know, like we're recycling what was lost in the damage to make sure the family who wasn't down there, or the distant cousins probably live maybe 2 states out, who comes down all the time, was there on business, make sure they inherit everything that's gone. So what they talking about in Washington about an inheritance, you know, I was pretty much taking personally because I started taking it personally because he might say it's a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes where people are claiming inheritance. And this is what I'm hearing through CIA microphones that's in Washington, D.C. Alright, so I'm telling you how this is affecting me and how it affects everybody else that's in life that what's going on in, right? I'm not the only one that's pretty much affected by this shit because a lot of people's inheritance gets stolen, and you might say, well, they didn't have never life insurance. And you say, well, the life insurance is going to be $10,000. They had an inheritance where it was set in stone like a will that everybody in the family, whoever was the next surviving chief of the family, like the most educated one in the family, the big brother type shit, it goes down to them, and then they decide from there because I'm already gone and I left my trustee in charge. All right. So when I heard them up there in Washington talking about a fucking inheritance, because they have an inheritance account up there for, and I mean the inheritance account that is in Washington is very big, and it's not only my inheritance that's put into it, it is stapled on a bar like a data spreadsheet that has inheritance, and it's the inheritance of pretty much every fucking body whoever lost somebody, and they supposed to got their wills passed down, they were stolen by the town's judges and shit, alright? And even if it's not their way, and it's all my inheritance, then I can look at what I got, and I can sell, and I can go ahead and put a spreadsheet data sheet out, and I figure out how much their families and shit left to them, and I can just take that out of my fucking money as a charity and make sure they get what they need for the future. You know, in a private funding session. You know, versus, you know, never gonna get it type shit. And trusting that somebody who ain't gonna do shit, but keep riding the clock and shit. So, man, oh no, damn traffic outside, man. Like I made this morning, man. Damn, man, we should have stopped out there coughing that goddamn egg, man. How you doing, man? What's down in the kitchen cabinets, man? What's your agenda for the day, man? You know how people is, you know, when they get into work shit, you know, I'm clueless as hell about what the hell's going on, man. You got me down here doing state drives, not doing shit like I'm just doing that security job shit. I'm just sitting around talking guys who speak Indo-China. I don't know how to speak Indo-China at all, man, 'cause it's like 35 different languages over there, man. And I don't know if I'm speaking to a damn Jap or a goddamn con, man. I don't know, man. You know? And, far as, you know, like presidents, why they have elections every 4 years, it's because it's like a Cinderella suit. We're trying to find a perfect fucking fit, man. trying to find somebody who pretty much is honest to do that, because that's like an intern job compared to, and compared to like when I finally collect my deeds and I walk the fuck on off and go back to the house and finish doing my shit for, Jolly Green Giant or for Lay's Tater Chips and shit, collecting my farm, and then I might get to the point where one day I'm too old to keep doing this shit, where I'm gonna just sit there and look at the youngsters doing the farm, where I pretty much vet who I'm gonna fucking hire type of shit, and I'll pretty much be an independent label where I pay them what I want to pay them. Well, you might say a good farming system is you work on a farm job and $10 an hour, that's damn good, and I might just be paying them $25 an hour to work on the farm, and also having a food card and insurance card, because once and you might say, man, you're gonna be broke. Don't worry about what the fuck going on over there, alright? Alright, just chill the fuck out, cause in my mind, I can work a lifetime, and I never spend 3 zeros out there. Well, I can spend money every fucking day buying dumb shit, gambling, and I never spend 3 zeros out that account type shit. Alright, so I'd rather invest into the people, and then, by me trying to spend 3 zeros, and with my fucking business coming in, that 3 zeros and turn to 7 zeros going back to forward weight. I tried to subtract 3 zeros and add 7 zeros, all because I got like the luck of the Irish type shit. You know what I'm saying? But I got like a lucky rabbit foot. But that rabbit won't lucky at all. The motherfucker got, he might have been reborn. Might have been reborn through human system. I ain't one of the greatest one of the greatest character comes on there. It might have been his purpose in life. But and it's not only an American problem. So if America is calling to Mexico, down to Jalisco, or down to the Guzmans and saying, well, we are trying to get the inheritance from Snapper's grandpa, who passed away a couple years ago, and he was supposed to be, somebody supposed to came up here with a military zine and a suit job and said, Snap, come on, man, let's go, man. Slime go. And you gotta go down here and look at the phone and see what you're gonna do. And we got your deeds and paperwork. And we want to see the family and shit. And I know you ain't been out here in a while because you've been locked up in a detention home. So come on, let's take you on down there. Get your fucking cigarettes, get your wine, don't worry about the money in this room. You ain't got no job to go to tomorrow? No. Alright, let's go. That welfare card bitch might come in handy for got no bag of chips on the road. So let's roll. And then, after that's all done, go down there and figure out what's going on now, because we got to add more names into the family account, because the family has pretty much grown. As far as, the kids that went off and they done met, workers that they found consensual with, and they done got their own love lives and families going. So now we got to add grandson and great grandson and 7, 8 generations under that. All got to be added to the list. And then, and you're not allowed to do any of this unless I'm at the table at the closed door session, because I'm not just going to put it in anybody's hands. I need to put it in somebody's valuable hands. If I put it in Mike Bar's hand, he might say, fuck all y'all, don't reach, I'm going to Vegas, fuck y'all niggas, get that shit on the phone, nigga. And he might go down there and smoke too much reefer and overdose on alcohol and die. And then his shit got seized by the bank because he never thought no further than going to Vegas and shit. And then after I get that handled, I need to go dig into the Wilbert Cooper's account, because Wilbert passed away, and I'm pretty sure Wilbert had a bunch of stuff that was meant to get to me, but you got a fucking actor down there pretending to be Greg and Pookie, and you got a bunch of actors over here pretending to be Wilbert Children, and they saying, well, we ain't gonna give it a snap, but we ain't gonna let them know, because he ain't gonna do nothing but smoke crack with it and shoot needles in his arm and die and shit, and he can't be trusted with it because he don't even take care of his fucking self, and he ain't good with money. So we gotta get them people the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because they trying, and they probably went down there and said, well, I know a boy that look like him that we can fool on, and we talking about petty fucking con men and shit, who's been getting away with this shit for over 30 fucking years. That's why we did not want actors over here, like trying to do a remake of a fucking movie called Twister. That was a real life situation. And they making more money off my tragedy than I am. And I ain't even got I ain't even letting them know or giving them no intrusion of what the fuck happened. They just doing the, estimate of what the fuck they think happened. With the damn people that was, you probably say, well, and we're gonna have Clara and she's gonna go out there and her and Simon Hedgeworth's gonna be making out and shit, not knowing that Simon and Clara is fucking niece and nephews type shit. Or uncle and niece type shit. You know what the hell he got going on. So you down here being a fucking know-it-all and don't even know what the fuck going on. Oh, cause you wanna make a movie sale and you ain't gonna sell the movie, cause it might not be safe to sell the movie in America, cause if they hear about it, they gonna beat your ass. So you probably selling this movie overseas in fucking Europe and Asia somewhere, and everybody's aware of the shit except for me. And you making millions off my story. And then you convince the motherfuckers that I was just an actor myself because the baby fucking died. They hired a little boy to be the fucking actor. You just a fucking swingling fucking conman, And as I'm talking to you now, I'm talking to you in a way where this goes for anybody that's in the military, for say, it's all, and you might say, well, I got my bank account set up and it goes to my baby daddy and my child. Well, you gotta realize anything might happen to your baby daddy. Somebody might be needing some wine one night. They might say, hell, I'm gonna bust him upside his head and shit. Then I'm gonna hire a TV actor to go down there, cause Hollywood probably ain't doing good at times with all this shit going on with these. Ain't nobody really going to the box office. Everybody pretty much is going online to jailbroke, whatever the fuck that 5-stick box, all kind of shit. Watch movies for free. It's just like when the music business stopped selling goddamn CDs and they had to rely on going on the road and doing concerts to make their music. So they got taking a big loss in their cut check where I might have to bust somebody upside the goddamn head and steal their fucking wallet and sell that shit to a lookalike through a Hollywood source to go down there and clean the nigga cabinets out type shit. And I get that nigga a cigarette, but we laugh a cigarette, he gonna fall dead, cause cigarette have fentanyl in it, and then we just walk the fuck on out, cause I done got paid, and I don't need him no more. But these pay cuts in life that you take, man, and most people really can't survive without, and I got, needs versus wants, I got what I need, but I still want a lot fucking more, So by me wanting that shit mean I'm gonna start jumping fucking ramps like Evel Knievel and hope I fucking make it. And Evel Knievel didn't make that fucking ramp, but his whole body got broke apart and they rushed him up to the hospital and brought him back, so it'd be like a fucking happily ever after type shit. Cause somebody got to collect this goddamn welfare, and I just can't leave when there were kids down there and he's down here bleeding out the damn nose and ass out the mouth, man. And that was dangerous fall, man. And that's the kind of conversations to go on in the goddamn ambulance and shit behind the scene. You might care a little too much, and you might be telling your children the Santa Claus story, and that's the education system that Santa Claus bought it, but the fucking president's been on the tree since October or some shit. And it ain't decoration at all. So you were really messing your kids' education system up by doing this shit. Hurt them with the truth type shit, And if you hurt them with the truth early enough, then they'll be able to accept it instead of they've been lied to the whole life, then find out that ain't what happened, So go ahead and stop it where it starts, That way they can move on with the life and figure out what the hell that shit gonna do. Because that damn road slows. And like I say, man, certain situations, are dire. But and then after handling this Weber Cooper situation, I don't have time to be stuck in the office, man, or stuck down here doing military drills and shit when I got a whole lot of other stuff to be doing. Cause you trying to do distractions and shit, they keep, the door closed so you can steal and pinch off a little more fucking money, hoping that I won't notice that you took a bunch of motherfucking money and a bunch of money from the people who died and that you're trying to replace through inspirations and shit to pretend like the inheritance. See, let me explain this. So people fucking die, alright? Let's say everybody fucking dies. They get some Hollywood cash people to look like them and bring them the fuck back down there. So they already got a death record to say they did. So the inheritance is already signed over to an actor that looks like you. But you don't know where anything. Because you don't even know, in your mind, they thinking, well, you may have been going away, he don't even know they did. So now you sitting down there and you just clueless about inheritance because you don't know, and you just saying, Billy them crazy, man. I like to see them come up with that shit. The whole time, Billy them, I ain't getting a fucking dime out neither. They just down here, in a free fucking house, getting a free ride type shit. And then next thing you know, up in Washington, they're there, and they spending your fucking inheritance on the con man shit. It is so. And then, and then they got the goddamn code that he'll probably be dead before he figure it out type shit. Alright? So, then, Billy them might start talking about getting life insurance. And you might say, what, I do need to get life insurance. But most people always think about life insurance, but they never think about, inheritance and signing over deeds and, who's going to inherit my house. Like, let's say, it should be obvious that if I die, then my kids should be able to get my house because they've been staying their whole life. As far as which she can get a house, as long as, and the house just might be here for when y'all come down here and have a damn family reunion or, to see the other family that lives in the neighborhood type shit. Versus y'all ain't paying taxes on the house and the government seized the fucking house through the courts because there was $25,000 taxes owed on it. So we went on and seized the house, but the house was already paid the fuck out. And these are the goddamn scams and schemes going on in government type shit. That leaves your fucking cousin that you see on the corner drinking, looking all stressed out all the time, where you think he got a drug problem, but he really, he really pissed off to the fact where he's about to fucking snap, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of shit going on in his life that he really can't tell you about it because you don't understand. Because you just a regular damn bicycle jump kid, slime boy motherfucker who ain't got them problems. And you probably out here as a background actor on the stage play line. You probably never got you as a fucking actor. You been out so long. You know what I'm saying? So, and him personally, who's sitting there drinking every day, sitting there mad as hell, just staring, thinking about, he thinking about the demon shit do these motherfuckers. He ain't act at all, he's like a local person that's really going through the court system shit, and they pretty much wrapping him the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So, with that said, when you in the military, and they send you overseas on deployments with guns and shit to go over there, and ain't nobody call from overseas and say, hey man, send the infantry over here, I need a special unit over here to check some shit out, man. Because everybody else at work, my military is pretty much doing, cleanup recovery. So if you got any guys that you seeing out here, ain't nobody got on the phone and said that. So you getting shipped the fuck over there without the permission of the country to come over there, and then you get fucking killed, all because they heard that, you have a, boom. Now you have a bounty on your head in another country. You not kill somebody, you don't even know the wealth of that family of those people. You just think there's some people living in a fucking cave or something, not knowing they probably out there having a good time, like, y'all remember we used to play treehouse type shit. And you go over there, and you might go over there, let's say you go overseas, and, outside got over 100 kids, but the only kids outside got is Muhammad, So you might say, well, we going down to Israel, and outside got kids, that has oil companies and real estate everywhere, and you going over there to kill outside's son, who ain't got shit to do with nothing, and then all of a sudden, you might kill outside's son's cousin or his son or some shit, who was probably out there selling reefer, having a good time with his friends, blowing their imagination up about how good this neighborhood gonna look when we get the light shining in it, you know what I'm saying? And you done heard some shit through a cyber line. You went the fuck over there and you killed our son's outside's great-great-grandson, and they like $1 million family off oil and shit. So now you might be saying, why am I being called to the front with a special unit to go back to the Middle East? Because somebody from the Middle East called over there to Washington and explained that you killed my fucking grandson, man, and he ain't had this shit to do nothing. And they might say, well, I can't do it. He said, you find out who the fuck did it over there, and I'll give you, and you know what? He said, what? And then it's like, we're ready to play ball. I'll give you $1 million, or I'll give you $5 million for every head that you send over here. So you don't know you being shipped off to die because you got a bounty on your fucking head, and Washington, D.C. is about to collect maybe $20 million from a bounty to kill your ass. So they say you have to get killed. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like murder for hire type shit. And in the midst of that, Washington, D.C. pretty much is playing both of y'all because, you know, they pretty much up there doing fight promotion. Well, we're going to send a platoon down there to kill Assad's kid that's over there in Israel. And then we're going to make it seem like somebody from Iran did it. And then they going to call and they going to say, boom. And then, you know how come in, boom, they get the Jim car. You know, we're going to be in Vegas, you know. We're going to set these niggas up to kill it. We're going to set these niggas up to get riding down. You know, they can go up there, they can get fucking killed. Then they can call over here and they can offer us $1 billion to send them niggas back over so we can kill their ass and question them. Then boom, while them niggas fighting, we got $1 billion. We calling around making all kinds of calls so we can have some strippers for the night. You know, it's like having a kid with a stolen fucking credit card. And you know, that's the way they setting shit up. And you know, it's under the deal table. It's under the deal table type shit going on where if you knew anything about over there in Sandland in the Middle East and shit, you'll know that pretty much people ain't doing nothing but factories, farm. It's like the same things going on here, you know. As you ride around America, you know that it's pretty much free. It got a little crime and shit at times. It got entertainment. And America is just like any other country on earth. You know what I'm saying? You might think it's just a fucking sand on it. It's just like America over there, okay? So you send them motherfuckers from over there to kill somebody so you can collect a bounty on his ass when he get back here. Alright? So, and that goes for, and that's not only from Washington, D.C., that goes for anywhere in the government, as far as, you know, up there in Europe, even out in fucking Africa at times. But if you're getting deployed somewhere, just know that there's a bounty on your fucking head because you done said something or did something over there, and they just sold your ass for $1 million because you about to stand trial, and they gonna sit there and examine and make sure it's you, and they gonna listen to your ass. They say it's him. They gonna break down all the diagnostics like the artificial intelligence because they don't want to kill the wrong guy because you might have sent a motherfucker lookalike over here, and I don't want to kill somebody else. I want to kill the guy personally, you know. So, and then, you know, when you hear guys like, let's say Muhammad came back to America, and you hear Donald Trump say, well, we can give Muhammad $1 trillion. He ain't give Muhammad shit. That's $1 trillion that he tried to find Muhammad for killing Khashoggi type shit. So you better give me my fucking money back type shit, nigga. You took some money out of my fucking economy. And like when Japan come over here and he said, we're gonna award them $64 billion, you ain't award them shit. That's money that you stole through a fucking economy and you gonna give me my fucking money back or we're gonna invade your country type shit. Alright? So that's pretty much going on. Cause ain't nobody giving away a fucking thing, you know what I'm saying? So basically when people come over here and they start saying, well, we can get on $1 billion, that's just the money that they stole and tried to get away with. You know, as far as, you know, and for like people like Obama, now Obama, he was in got in office for 8 years. So what they say is they make $400,000 a year. So you can do the math, $400,000 times 8 years, you know. And then, you know, he might say, well, I did a couple of talk shows like Oprah and they, you know, they gave me the money and I ain't down that shit. So once you look at what Obama made and when he left, whatever he fucking made, he went on to the house, you know, because he relieved his duties. So he going out there and buy him a fucking a 2-story house in the suburbs and have his own little suburban area where his family live at. And, you know, he can go ahead and know how to balance his fucking money in case he got some retirement coming in for his services, you know, like unemployment type shit. Which ain't gonna be $400,000 a year. You know, so if you ever see somebody leave Washington and they ain't served 8 years and they somebody they a billionaire, that's a fucking lie. $400,000 sound 8 is not $1 billion fucking dollars. So they left Washington with a fucking $1 billion and went bought a fucking ranch and shit and got some Secret Service people to protect them and all kinds of bullshit. You know, he pretty much robbed somebody from overseas for some money out of a bank hacker, or he robbed somebody, the Native American community or the Mexican community, through dirty ass deeds and going down there and starting fucking wars to kill Osama bin Laden. So when Bin Laden them came over here and blew up the fucking buildings, it was because some niggas in Washington had did some stupid shit. And sometimes, let me clear it up. Sometimes it ain't always Washington D.C. You know, because one time we cut all the phones off in Washington D.C. You know, because we was getting a lot of heat over here, and a lot of motherfuckers about to invade. So we cut the phone system off completely. So whoever you fucking call, when you call Washington D.C., the interceptor, like when you call Washington D.C., before it gets to the line, somebody intercept the call and be like, this is Washington D.C. And then we found out it was up there in Statesville, Europe, some fucking well. And there was guys up there on some punk rock shit that said, yo, we got a plan to rob, you know, Saudi Arabia or some shit, but we gonna do some AI boy shit and say it was goddamn George Bush or somebody who stole the money, and George Bush might go the fuck off and say, hold the fuck up, man. I'm just down this motherfucker that y'all know that the storm patterns and shit is good and the crops coming in. You know, I'm just up here to be like an intern and shit, you know, like my dad done was, you know. And if it's like that, man, I get the real goddamn command on the phone, you know. And he ain't nothing but a goddamn, maybe a 15-year-old kid, and he's bad as hell. And we ain't just put him down here because he's a garbage chute, man. He's been in service from birth. You know, he trained with the world type shit. So, at times where motherfuckers is thinking, well, it's Washington, D.C., and you know, if watch the local mind of Washington, D.C., they're like, hold on, man. What's the fucking area code, you know? What's the area code of Washington, D.C.? They might say 673 or some shit. That ain't the goddamn area code over here. That's somewhere, you know, so we all on the phones trying to figure out this goddamn Die Hard 2 heist motherfucker who's scrambling up the systems to pull the fucking heist, you know what I'm saying? And that's why at certain times I got code names like John McClane. Cause they be like, man, go get fucking John up out the bed. So if y'all hearing somebody say go get John, they talking about come and get me like John McClane, because this is some Die Hard vengeance shit, you know. You got some goddamn Frenchmen up there scrambling up the lines to rob fucking Wall Street and haul ass back overseas and then end up in Australia at a fucking card house that don't cost but $25 fucking dollars, and he didn't need the money in the first place because he was spending most of his time hiding the fuck out. You know, the type of nigga that'll rob your ass and throw your money in the trash can because he just didn't want you to have it. You know, so. And at certain times, you know, I hear the calls through the wires and shit. And they kept, and like for the last 14 months, they kept saying, John. And it got to the point where it pissed me the fuck off because they're saying John. And I'm thinking that you might be an enemy force and you looking for a code named John and who is fucking John to go down there and snipe him and shit. Because if it was like that, you would have been can't fucking got me. You wouldn't be acting so fucking lost. You know what I'm saying? And they kept saying John. And I said, I don't run no goddamn brothel, man. What the fuck you saying John for? Because I got fucking daughters or something, nigga. I don't run no fucking whorehouse, nigga. What the fuck is... And I start getting fucking mad, you know what I'm saying? And, they just keep saying John. Then it's like Sean Connor or John Connor or some shit. I'm like, man, you know, who in the fuck back here acting like they got them Andy Reid and they don't know what the fuck's going on, man? So somebody that got swapped the fuck out who running was on the team, or he done stumbled across some yellow page books, and he over here trying to pull the fucking heist again and some shit. But you know, and once they start saying these names, you know, it's only like, cause we got Hollywood pictures over here, man. So when the movie deals come out, we might say, damn, yo, I might have seen the movie one time, but I know what you're talking about. And then like Sean Connor is pretty much like the first Terminator movie, the little guy who was trying to say Sarah and shit, and then that's what they also saying, Sarah and shit. You know, what in the fuck is you got some goddamn guy from Scandinavia world out here? Man, don't get mad at nobody in Scandinavia. There's always a cyber fucking punk down there hacking fucking bank accounts in a fucking basement masturbating to some goddamn porn or some necrophilia and shit, thinking he got it going on, sucking sweet toys in his mama's basement. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna move out soon, Mom. That job's pretty much coming through. And she pretty clueless too, okay? So it's always some dumbass guy down there trying to rob a fucking bank account. And that's what I mean by chief command. And that time, and they only get, like, being for a chief command, you really don't get, you know, because I had one point where I wasn't receiving no phone calls at all. You know, I wasn't receiving no, you know, I wasn't receiving no echoes through the phone wires, none of that shit. It was always a bunch of Ashley Boone shit, where Ashley down there having sex with somebody, you know, and this shit's been going on. And I got brain scans and everything. They said, kid ain't got shit spread at all, man. You know what I'm saying? He got to help the brain type shit. You know, if anything, his brain is a little too healthy, you know. And we got a fucking annoyance. And then they talking about a gag order and shit, you know. And most people, if you're in the military, if you don't know your codes, you know, you might be like a gag order. You know, and they be like, a gag order, like a deep throat order. You know, fuck is he talking about, man? You already got your mind in the gutter. That's why you get shot in the fucking head beside a fucking drain pipe in the street. And like, just like him, they have his mind in the fucking gutter. Running all down the fucking gutter in it. You know what I'm saying? But, they have a gag order. Then they got a tension order. Like, a tension order, you see my leg jumping? Alright? Like, and this shit, like, this is a tense dance environment. You know, like it's a stressful type environment and shit. And my leg has been jumping for the last goddamn 14, man. This shit's been going on for the last 6 years, to tell you the truth. And still ain't nobody done shit about it. That's when, by me being chief, I started questioning my own fucking military because they probably ain't got the education. And my military probably been compromised by somebody who snuck in and caught somebody at a goddamn Caribbean restaurant on their anniversary because somebody got computer skills to say, that guy right there, it's like the sergeant of the military, get somebody who look like him down here, I'm gonna bust his head, we gonna pull an Adolf Hitler takeover type shit. And then, you know, then people get up there in Washington, they like, you know, some of us do got our, you know, we got our 4-year military school plan, and we got our talk when we was younger, you know, at ROTC class and shit, you know, but and you know, then they were like, does tornado drills count? Like, yeah, tornado drills count too, you know, and you know, because everybody, you know, you might be a help a hand to lead us down and say, y'all get down, man, you know, you might be a senior member of the tornado drill and shit. You know, they're like bomb shit to talk. You know, so everybody pretty much works together type shit. And then this guy starts doing a bunch of other shit. You know, this is kind of shit that we should be talking about after we blow this nigga away and shit. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no prep rally volleyball game. I mean, this is a, you know, spank his ass out and grab their phones, who the fuck else he talking to. Alright? We would try to, compared to the world military, it can't be about goddamn maybe 16 street disciples or maybe 2,000. That ain't shit compared. Nigga, we got 50 caliber rifles that spray 2,000 rounds like it ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? So what the hell is he talking about? Ain't no jam with it all. And still have 4,000 rounds still spit on your ass. You know what I'm saying? And 50 caliber rounds are not this goddamn long. 50 caliber rounds are like goddamn cucumbers. I don't know the fuck kind of guns y'all shoot. Y'all must be scrap iron or something. And you cannot shoot a 50 caliber rifle with your goddamn hands. That's not a 50 caliber rifle. Somebody show you some bottom grade shit. 50 caliber rifles has to be mounted down to fucking trucks and cars so you can wield that bitch like that. And like it's like shooting cucumbers out of that bitch, you know what I'm saying? And they like big damn darts and shit. What the fuck kind of military, you know, find out who in the fuck is selling 50 caliber rifles. And this how, this how we get, you know, like we sitting down at mobsters and shit, you know, find, and then we find sitting down there with Paulie, and Paulie said, don't come around right now, cause I'm listening to some shit, you know, find out who in the fuck is selling 22 rifles, and they sell them off as 50 caliber rifles, and find out who the fuck is buying the motherfuckers, and then, you know, it's a simple fix on find out who broke in my fucking cabinet and stole my wristwatch, cause I got the serial number for my shit, you know what I'm saying? It can't be the fucking Taliban. Now, Now, before we start pointing fingers at each other, you gotta remember, this cheek ain't shit. They big, like, they drug dealer. You know, they drug lord. You know what I'm saying? Military job side, this drug lord. You know what I'm saying? I call Taliban now. Taliban said, man, if you ever tell me a motherfucker that came down here and sold you a 22 caliber fucking rifle and told the man that it had 50 caliber on it, I'm gonna bust his goddamn head if he put my name in this shit. Now, Groove, you know better than this shit, nigga. Now, where's the money for the goddamn stuff that we went up to NATO and talked about when you told us about selling the opioid stack shit, the medical to Pfizer or some shit, because we might do a deal with them to make goddamn medication. You know, we pretty much was fighting for our medicine too. Because we got hospitals and shit over here we got to do. You know what I'm saying? And plus, most of the kids over here, when stupid ass wars break out, we need those tinted band-aids for ourselves. Because our legs shit don't be jumping so we can be chilling ourselves, man. Because, you know, my mind ain't at ease all the time. Neither is the kids. Grandma, granddad, nobody. You know. So, if you try to come down here and say, well, you gotta remember, I'm everybody's little cousin. I'm everybody's little brother. Alright? So if you can't go down and see ISIS, I get on a phone call ISIS. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk to Hamas, I talk to Hamas personally. And I don't even know if Washington call talk to Hamas. I be like, yo, what the fuck going on down there, man? You know, telling what they got a sex list shit. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't got shit to do with no peace talk. It's just me calling to check on the family and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck going on? And at the same way, they might be like a one big family feud. So we try to figure out why the family fighting and shit. And so find out who the fuck this white man is. Man, I wouldn't give a fuck if he Smurf Blue. You know what I'm saying? Find out who this white man is named fucking Warlord, who's doing all this stupid ass shit. Like, because he been watching these dumb ass Tom Hanks movies his whole fucking life. And somebody told him he gonna be like the Hulk Hogan of war. Find out who the fuck this movie actor is, man. Alright? Because that's what I'm getting through to Hamas. That it's some stupid ass suit job motherfucker who probably ain't even from Washington, D.C. at all. Probably some stupid motherfucker from over there in Germany who can watch too many Adolf Hitler tapes. And now he think that he's new Adolf Hitler and shit. Well, nobody in Germany really fuck with Adolf Hitler because Adolf Hitler, he was just, you know, you really don't even know what the fucking the German war was about with Adolf Hitler. It was about some niggas, it sold some E. coli and everybody got the fucking fighting over. You know what I'm saying? Threw some food, and you know, they just kept, and I done fucked up all my stuff, and I want my fucking money back, and I done bought this shit, and you say, fuck you, motherfucker, and you know, that's your last words, them fighting words, you gotta go down and fuck them niggas up, you know what I'm saying? So, you thinking a lot of wars start because of skin color. A lot of wars started because people are selling bad products on the markets, and I just bought some motherfucking, I just gave you money for real authentic products, and you sold me some artificial shit. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was buying real apples, and when I bit into it, the motherfucker didn't even break it. Bro, you sold me some fucking plastic apples, nigga, hungry is. You know, you sold me a whole fucking 35, 18 wheelers in them shits. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got him captured. Don't worry with that nigga. Slap his ass in the head, man. He's a necrophiliac child molester trying to avoid a case for some international child molestation shit. Yeah, he's been taking cargo planes of little kids on ships and shut them all over the world like they fucking Chihuahua puppies or something. All to some guys who are in child molestation organizations with him. That's what I'm saying. Don't overthink and pop his ass out. If he down there trying to get you to protect him, then that means he ain't got nobody in his army in the first place. Alright, I feel you click them off. And then you click them off. Like anytime, and by me having this dot in my head, you know, anytime somebody clips off, you know, like let's say everybody trying to connect to a fucking cryptocoin dot that's in me, that, you know, alarms me and let me know, you know, it's like, you ever seen those movies where they scan the hand instead of digging in the wallet to show you who they are? Well, that's the ideas of the future, and that's like the instruction we can give to the future of what we're trying to head to avoid all this identity shit, so you can't steal nobody else's shit. But then you got the guys, these what if guys, you know, I can hack that system. Then you got, you know, we out here trying to make it better, and you trying to see if you can hack the system, so you automatically getting the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? But you always on these goddamn code breakers. Find out who the fuck code breaker is too. That's the key name, alright? A lot of these guys are Like Codebreaker should be like a fucking bank account hacker, somebody who's hacking bank accounts, because he probably said, fuck this, man, I need some guns and some shit. So he just hacked the bank account so he can get $45 million fucking dollars and buy a bunch of fucking guns and start a revolution with a bunch of people who ain't even into that shit. But you go down and spread a bunch of false beliefs that, you know, the sodomites are coming to town and raping girls, but the whole time you are the leader of the sodomites, and now you talking to the other guys, you leading them astray down these fucking tunnel paths. No, somebody, we gotta get down and get the sodomites. Damn, they ain't down here. So while you distracting them on the distraction order, the real sodomites taking the fucking women and fucking raping them and putting them on cargo ships. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you gotta think about it, man. Why this guy's talking to me, his buddy is digging in my back pocket, you know, and they working together against me and shit. And I know you might say, Groove, man, too fucking hot for this shit, man. I'm already goddamn hot as fuck, man, glooming out in the sun, man, trying to figure out where the fuck I'm going in the shade and drink some water and shit at. And you got motherfuckers over trying to steal my fucking jug of water, man. We got plenty of fucking water over there in Maine. I mean, shit gotta stop, man. You got me and all the homies up dressed in white, man. We down in the tunnel, man, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Alright? But, and that's like the old switcheroo shit. And my buddy laying on the floor, Hamashi on the floor. And sometimes, man, where you might hear that over in the Black Sea that they blowing up oil tankers, it's because that oil tanker has been stolen by some military that probably ain't even Washington, D.C. You know, they probably trying to cause a diversion and put Washington, D.C. in the mix. And the whole time it ain't Washington, D.C., it's probably fucking Scandinavia or something fucking about it. You know what I'm saying? Because white people ain't only, you know, it ain't really a whole lot of white people in America that be going to fuck over there doing some shit. So the white population is pretty much up in Scandinavia type shit, where their skin is designed to be the fuck up there. You know what I'm saying? And where it's cold and where they need heat and warmth at times. So America don't really need to jack nobody for shit as far as no gas. You know what I'm saying? All that shit is going on the East Coast and the Eastern world. So those are European, Asian, and African wars is going on. And then, you know, the Europeans will say, well, the Americans are allies. And Donald Trump say, you a motherfucking lie. You know what, Mitch, you from Brooklyn Harbor, motherfucker. Hang up on them. And then Donald Trump get on the news, start talking shit. And then Iran don't get the news. And they say, fuck Donald Trump too, because the nigga got his back. And the nigga probably got his hands in the fucking pot with him. And then that's how everybody starts saying, well, you got his back, we're going to fuck you up too. And then I said, man, I don't even know Donald Trump neither, nigga. I'm from down here in the jungle trying to show the cocaine for him. You know what I'm saying? And I run shit down here too. Washington, D.C. is his own country type shit. You know what I'm saying? And then Donald might be saying, you little motherfucker, I thought we was friends and shit. Remember this night, all kind of shit? I said, look, man, get in the fucking car, come keep me the fuck up. And I'm going to get on the phone, and I'm going to just talk to everybody, let them know what the fuck going on. Because it's like, you know, it's like niggas come over here. All right, let's say the Taliban pretty much, you know, we got a title, you know what I'm saying? You know, fuck the title, we got, you know, we got respect, you know, we got respect because we did what we had to do and shit, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us didn't make it, but hell, we still made it through. And, you know, like, and ISIS might say, motherfucker, you know, we got a reputation on hold, you know, we like the secret forces, we like the shadow mob or the military type shit, you know, we done went all the way and shit. And, you might have motherfuckers that come over here from fucking Ireland. Well, when they living in Ireland, in Ireland, it's like maybe a population of Ireland motherfuckers that it's probably about 10,000 that all live in their own little community that you might say, damn, and people might pick on them. And you know how we growing up, and you might be like you might be like brown like me, and everybody be calling you Arab or Puerto Rican, but the whole time you're a Native American, and you know, and they might have did that shit, and they might say, fuck it, man, since everybody think I'm Arabic and shit, I listen to some PG-13 music, let's go the fuck over here, and we can go down there to America somewhere, and we can go down there, and we can act like we some goddamn sleeper cells, and we can tell them we from Afghanistan, and we from the Taliban, because them niggas the gangsters niggas on earth, and you know, when nigga told me I was a fucking Arab or something, or I look like I was Afghan, I just took it all the way and ran with it like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm from the Taliban, you know, to try to intimidate motherfuckers. And then they come down and start a bunch of shit, talking about how they represent for the Taliban, but they don't speak no fucking Afghan at all, or they don't speak no They don't speak no Asian languages at all. They speak a fucking language up there in Europe somewhere. And you got detectives down here examining them, and he never noticed that if the nigga was from goddamn the Middle East somewhere, he'll speak with a Middle Eastern accent, or he'll speak like Middle East. He wouldn't fluently speak this language right here, you know. He'll speak Afghan, you know. And he don't even, and then we might hand him some text and say, you know, read this shit to me. And he don't speak Persian at all. He don't even write in fucking Afghan or Arabic, you know what I'm saying? He don't know what the fuck we talking about. So he just down here trying to call it a diversion, because we from fucking Scottsdale, England somewhere, but everybody think we Arabs and shit. So we just took that shit and mob with it, like we was the strongest niggas on the hood, and we see the Taliban taking over shit. So we going to America, and we gonna be like the CB4, you know, like the little nerds of the neighborhood, pretending to be the big time gangsters of the hood, you know, so we get respect in our little rundown neighborhood where don't shit really happens violent besides a fucking squirrel running across the road that might get hit by a fucking truck or something. Like, that's the only murder that ever happened in that neighborhood type shit. And now they over here and they starting the system up, and you got everybody on the phone talking shit. You know how grown folk get on the phone. Y'all need to get them goddamn cheering, you know. When I say grown folk, I mean like the senior citizens of the country, like Donald Trump doing. They like the senior citizens shit. And then they might call the Rand and shit. And Ram Sanders might say, man, I ain't around, man. Put Santa Claus on the phone, you know what I'm saying? So Santa Claus, you know, he's trying to present and shit, because Santa Claus got to the point where I'm sitting at home chilling and shit, man. And might be a funeral elf motherfuckers down there and shit, you know. But I doubt if they left out here, you know. My boy kind of strict about leaving. And I got a whole lot of other shit going on. I got a lot of stuff on to do over here. So if they is over there, you let me know the names, and I'll pull them up, and I'll get a special unit to come through there and pick them all up, like secretly and silently. When nobody, it didn't want to be a big time TV. And I'll bring them down here, and I'll whoop them personally. You know, they ain't supposed to be the fuck over there doing shit over in Power Country. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, well, they say, well, we done caught 1,500 Taliban members in the United States. And motherfuckers, this shit like becomes a big news story. And everybody's like, the Taliban is being captured in America. And then I might be sitting over here just drinking wine and shit, just looking at this stupid shit like, I ain't none of my fucking brothers from the goddamn Taliban that came the fuck over here. Motherfucker, you really think that I'm gonna fight for my country of Afghanistan for us to have our own shit again and collect our own money? You really think that I'm gonna come to America? Motherfucker, I got my own hood. Why? I don't even got directions to America, motherfucker. What the fuck is you talking about? I'm from Afghanistan. So what the fuck you talking about? Must be from Scotland, England, some goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing where you got all these tourists and shit. Or you might have, you know, somebody who grew up around the park area, where in the park district, you got, you know, it's diverse. You got white families, black families, Asian families, Native Americans, Mexicans, Arabics, you know, and they all come together and they hang out and they get to smoking like hippies and shit, and they get, you know, cracking jokes on each other and be like, you know, they all like little comic book kids. And then, you know, they might watch the news and they might say, because the name Muhammad is pretty much still like a damn name that they use over here when they naming the kids. But some of the people that come over here, you know, as I said, man, what I'm saying, I got my own market set up. You know, I made enough money, or my dad then was here since, you know, like the 40s and shit. And we had like a little mom and pop store, and then we got into a farm, and the family started to grow. And all the money and shit started coming back in, and we started inheriting, and we trying to figure out what we was gonna do with it. And yes, we still name the kids Muhammad and Alfali or some shit, or Kali or something, you know, because that is like the name in our household and the name of the ancestors that we name after the strong heroes in our family type shit. So he might be here, and he might start getting these little crowds of, you know, everybody getting along, you know, all races getting along type shit, and these little raves and shit. And they might start finding him. Like one night they might say, look, you see that and then, you know, they might be appreciating each other a little too hard. Cause like one of the mess, he might not be doing shit, but, you know, loading a box in the store, and, you know, Muhammad might call him, and they might be like grooving friends and shit. And then, you know, the goddamn Jose might say, check this out, you Osama Bin Laden looking motherfucker. Nigga, you is Osama Bin Laden looking fucking son. And they just sitting there playing, going back and forth, cracking jokes on each other. And you know, they might be appreciating each other too good. And then somebody might hear this shit and say, Osama Bin Laden's son is down in that goddamn house. And then everybody just goes crazy and shit. Or he might take this shit the right way. And then one day they might become teenagers. And he be like, yo, man, go over there and see if the Arab got some weed and shit. You know, you got cousins. He said, you know, yo, who sell weed in the Arab community? He said, you know, my cousin Moonsalt sell that shit, man. And, you know, he said, why come? Because he can flip and shit, you know what I'm saying? All right, cool. So go see Moonsalt, man. And then Moonsalt might be selling goddamn weed that he grows in his house because he smokes weed. And, you know, he's pretty much in his socks and he's down numbers and shit. That ain't got shit to do with that weed. That's my own personal stash. And my little cousin gonna do, you know, I took y'all little cuz, and I ain't got enough for everybody, you know what I'm saying? You know what mama them told you? Don't bring everybody to the fucking store, because we only got a select order, and this kind of stuff we eat, and our cousins stuff eat, you know what I'm saying? So we only get groceries for us, and our own little local area. So don't be bringing everybody to the house. So that shit might end up to, you know, he got a cousin named Moonsalt, man, and we need to go down there and rock him up, man, because he a talented guy. So then they might be promising the FBI, you know, it's an Arab down here named Moonsalt, man, and he's selling big weed, man. He got 40 tons of marijuana in his house, and then all of a sudden they kick in his house, and they take his little $1,500 that he been saving up, you know, as far as, you know, paying my lights and my rent and my water and getting my nutrition and everything. And then they took my stash where I was running my own stash so I can avoid knocking on people's doors and shit. And, you know, they done locked me up as the most wanted drug dealer in the world type shit, you know. And, you know, then all of a sudden, they want to know who's the sources and shit. And then, like, we tapping his phone, and then they might tap the phone while Moonsalt locked up by some bullshit. Like, I know I shouldn't have fucked with that little nigga, man. He done fucked my groove. If I was on the phone talking to my girl and all kind of shit, watching one of my shows on late night, you know. So then, the same little dumbass kids who sit out there, you know, I ain't call them dumb, but, you know, the same little kids who sit out there and hang out together, and, you know, they jokingly insult each other, you know, to show each other human love and shit. They might get on the phone, and then, you know, the feds might tap the lines, and Jose might say, yo, man, put Bin Laden on the phone, man. You is Bin Laden, son, motherfucker. And then he saying, fuck you, nigga, you Chapo, son. And then they might start getting the wrong idea, and next thing you know, they got a whole platoon ready to go to Afghanistan and go to fucking Mexico all over a fucking nickel bag of fucking weed, which now one Jose or Muhammad can fucking afford. They just sitting there going back and forth because they came to a conclusion that we don't even need weed to laugh and shit, so this how we get our Herman and shit. But the damn CIA listened to it, and now they went somewhere and started robbing people and shit, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Well, you got motherfuckers up there on the phone, or you got people that ain't really, you know, they ain't qualified to hold a sniper rifle because that might not even, you know, you holding that sniper rifle like, that bitch got a bomb in that goddamn brown bag. The whole time, that lady don't know shit about no war that's going on. You know, went too far into the fucking country where they ain't even aware that there's a war going on in certain areas of the country. You know, that's just like some regular shit that goes on in Harlem where niggas is shooting each other, but now niggas got bombs and they blowing up each other building type shit. You know what I'm saying? But we live down here in goddamn North Carolina, so we don't know what the fuck going on in Harlem. You know, and it ain't on the news type shit. And you know, and at times, you know, they call me. Well, they don't really call me because they be saying, you know, don't, you know, he's already under a lot of pressure type shit. Sometimes I just pick up the phone and I just get my diagnosis of the fucking ministry. You know, that's why they call. When they come to the country, they go put the Prime Minister of America on the phone. You know, the Prime Minister is like the senior member of the military type shit who knows what the fuck's going on at time and who can tell me about this shit that ain't nothing but like a fucking big ass fucking cartoon type shit that's going on, and a bunch of niggas like blindly in the blind and shit. You know, so he's gotta be like smart to think a goddamn 8th grader is El Chapo's Guzman's son selling kilos down here, and that fucking 8th grader don't even got $5 to be able to afford a bag of potato chips. You know what I mean? Because Chapo would never let his son go out like that, and he probably would, you know, if he not done shit, you gotta get your ass shot with a weapon shit. And then you got motherfuckers. The CIA is the Central Intelligence of America. You're not allowed to leave America, all right? So the CIA is not allowed to go to fucking Mexico and start doing all kinds of shit. You're not allowed to be in South America neither, or Canada. That is the Central Intelligence of America, okay? You're not allowed to leave out of America, okay? So if you got them, you know, you're going outside the jurisdiction, you're going to get locked up, and then they going to, and when I say, you know, they might say we got some hostage situations. They ain't hostage situations at all. That nigga went overseas and done some shit he was not supposed to be over here doing, and he got locked the fuck up. And if you want to get him back, this is $50,000. Just like in America, when you get locked the fuck up and they give you a fine, you know, if you want to bail Mikey out for robbing that bank that time, it'll be $50,000. That's what he's saying to you, man. I don't know what the hell y'all talking about a hostage situation. But you're dealing with guys who probably always get a slap on the wrist, or they always get like, I sign him over to his family to get him, and we don't want no bond off him, you know. Versus niggas who went to jail, and this nigga got like a $100,000 bond on him if you want to get his ass out, you know. But that's what we pretty much coming around to, and we all present at this meeting. I'm in America where it is 11:35. Stop them over there. And Gan and shit where it's probably about 10 in the morning. Well, yeah, probably about 10 in the morning. And you know, we got prime men from, you know, we got granddaddy from over there and ran and shit. He up where it's probably about 11:35, 12, something, you know. And we all, the military, everybody, so we all on the same page for us, you know, y'all some of this ceasefire and these peace meetings, you know. So part of a ceasefire is you got to call in like the prime ministers, like the senior ministers of the military, who got the most knowledge and education, who pretty much is born in this shit without a choice, you know. So him, everybody present. So that's when we have like a war going on. We got a lot of people that don't approve of some shit that one country's doing, and we all trying to figure out what the hell's going on, because it's that storm coming my way, because I'm in Japan and I don't want like a blood sport in the middle of the fucking street that stormed over for some shit that happens over in Israel, because niggas will fight all the way to fuck home, and they'll chase your ass all the way through different countries to kill you and shit, because niggas be trying to play hide and seek. And I don't want my business getting blown up because of fucking espionage in Japan. They're trying to listen to some phones in North Korea or some shit, you know what I'm saying? So, that's what I mean is, unplug the phone. Was one time where I told niggas, and they was like, man, that goddamn Saudi landing called me. Fuck you talking about? Said somebody fucked up a couple of kilos, man. You know, and that's just what he's saying, right? So I said, man, y'all don't fuck around. And then they sent the medical truck down here to go to the processing lab to make tablets for the hospitals and band-aids for the kids, where can't nobody pretty much hijack the truck that's doing a spy move, you know, because if you got a medical form, you need a military patrol on that medical form, and nobody's allowed on that government vicinity, which is a medical form. So what you're telling me is we need to do indoor grow houses. And part of indoor grow houses is like maybe eight story buildings with fertilizer on each floor and a rain system, you know, and then we might have to call Greenland or one of the snow mountain countries where we collect the water and melt the water and let it rain on the crops inside of the grow houses, you know, like tanks. And then we'll have like a vapor system in there that warms and, you know, or have like a drain pipe system where, you know, and, you know, or, you know, and, you know, you don't follow me, you know, because you're going to walk off and I'm going to just explain to the niggas who's going to put the shit together and shit. But I know it's like an indoor ecosystem. So that's what you're saying. They say, well, that'll work. And, you know, he shake my hand. Son, you know, you didn't even finish hearing me out, you know what I'm saying? But what you're saying is, we got somebody spying on the opioid farm, and I call it nopium, because none for him, man, because you done had too much, you know. You fuck around, your ass be great, you know, and opium means, you know, that injury you got that's required that shit. You know, you come down here and you say, well, I need, my teeth is riding and I need some opioid pills. First off, you might need some, but first thing you need to do is get that teeth fucking pulled, because if you don't get it pulled, your whole mouth is going to be unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to need more than a fucking pill, you're going to need some dentures. So you got people that spying on the medical farms, which grows coca leaf extracts and opioid gum to protect, for surgery reasons in the hospital. And sometimes, if they act right, recreational meetings and for laborers, where if you act right, we can build it up like tablets and sell it out of the store, and behind the counter type shit at like drugstores for stores you get alcohols and band-aids and ointments from. But what you telling me is you got somebody spying on the farm, and they seeing them load up the trucks, and they say, you got a goddamn military platoon down here. You got a sniper force down here, dressed in all black with sniper rifles, that's watching medical farms where people are certified medical doctors and lab technicians at. And these guys are just dumbass niggas down here with fucking rifles, dressed in all black, looking through scopes and saying, yo, that's a meth lab, and they trying to rob the fucking money and rob the 18-wheeler trucks that are headed to the government labs to stamp out tablets and to be fully be processed with the extra added ingredients, plus caffeine, the milk powders, and certain proteins, so it won't be so strong, and waters and shit. And then it has to be stamped out on pill machines and then processed through a scale before it goes into a lab in a bottle. It goes to the prescription labs. And sometimes you put them in plastic packs so everything's not a pill bottle with your name printed on it and a sticker, because sometimes it's a plastic pack where you can just push it out of the running wrap type shit, the aluminum foil type packs. So what you got is a guy down here that's robbing a drug farm because he want to go have a disco with, Mary Ann the fucking Ginger or somebody. So you got a Gilligan down this bitch. So who done left somebody down here stranded, man? You got another professor where he got Gilligan out there, and he gonna take the shit to the professor, and the professor's gonna take it, and he gonna put all kinds of baking soda on it, and all kinds of caffeine and bullshit that don't even go in it to make people freak out like zombies and shit. That way he can sue the Pfizer labs for billions and billions of dollars, because he's trying to figure out who's got the most wealth on earth, so he can go down there and stage a fucking heart attack and sue them for bad products and take them in the hole for millions, like a woman trying to get alimony through a marriage that she was never into the guy, but she married that nigga because he was like 98 years old and he had millions of fucking dollars. So she'll just hold her vomit in while she kissing this motherfucker, because she only got 5 months to live and she's gonna have anything. And that's the reason she has some get rich quick shit going on. So that's what the hell you got going on up there, man. And right now, Donald's at the desk. He's at his desk. Because he don't really go out in that black suit. He like that blue suit a little better. He don't really fuck with that black suit because he got 3 buttons on like by the wrist and on the cufflink and shit. Yeah, and the air conditioner's on pretty much in the Oval Office type shit. And they got the computer screen where the motherfucker just went black or something. And nigga, you still got a goddamn computer in the White House that's one of those goddamn computers that, like those Al Gore computers from the fucking 80s with the big ass, heavy ass TV set and the keyboard. That's the kind of computer y'all still got up there with the mouse and shit. Most niggas got laptops. Most niggas just use cell phones. Well, my cell phone is my laptop, and that whole computer can be broke down to a cell phone where I can do my studies, my colleges, my arts, my shopping, my banking, all this shit. This cell phone is like a fucking wallet now, man. Alright? It's like a Boy Scout knife. So we're trying to figure out what's going on up there. Another thing, when you show me these eye glooms through these goddamn satellites, like I say, when you show me this shit, I like to call it the fly on the wall. Alright, I got a camera so small it's like a fly on the fucking wall. Alright, and you might think it's a fly, that bitch might just take off and start going through there and showing what else going on. But what and the fly might be in the goddamn vent. Boys, you know I got a fucking mouse, like a lab rat inside of the ventilation system of the White House that has a goddamn FBI wide frequency on the motherfucker, so I can hear everything that's going on up there. You know. So it ain't always a human up that motherfucker. If that mouse ain't do shit but eat pellets and sit there and chill and listen to y'all motherfuckers and try to figure out what kind of animal makes those kind of sounds that those tall motherfuckers on 2 feet making. You know. And you know, and I don't wanna go through, I only talk about this kind of shit when I go overseas and we all got a problem with some shit that's going on and we trying to figure out, we ain't really trying to bust a nigga in the mouth right now, but I'm really trying to see what the fuck that nigga is thinking when the dress shooting 100 degrees. So I'm gonna put a mouse over that motherfucker with a recorder on him, and I'm gonna just let the motherfucker run around a little tunnel in the White House type shit. And the mouse gonna let me know what's it, you know, like, that's what means having a rat, you know what I'm saying? So, we trying to figure out what the fuck y'all talking about up there. But y'all stirring up a lot of fucking, yeah, y'all stirring up a lot of Jello pudding, yeah, with fucking raisins in it, or, you know, whatever the fuck y'all eat. You know, they got y'all, and half the time you eat shit because it's a fucking war strategy. It ain't even about a recipe. It's like they'll never figure out this recipe right here. We got some goddamn oatmeal inside of some coleslaw and some diced goddamn hot tomato peppers, and nobody eats this shit. This is a recipe that nobody's gonna figure out. And that's the way y'all fucking strategize. Y'all probably got a kitchen chef up there. He probably was a kitchen chef in the military. And y'all probably making all kinds of weird fucking requests of kind of food y'all want to cook. So y'all go up there and hide the fact from him that y'all is making your own recipe by taking oatmeal and fucking and sauce and coleslaw and stirring the fuck all up and eating that shit like it's slop. Y'all up there, yeah, y'all up there with a whole lot of cosmic slop going on this shit. Yeah. And the guy who does cooking in the White House pretty much has this black vest on type shit, his white shirt, he's dressed casual, black pants, and he's like a dark-skinned kid from out there by Louisiana and shit, somewhere by Kentucky probably, you know, cause you know how motherfuckers, yeah, them niggas from Kentucky really cook fried chicken, and well, nigga ain't got nothing to do with his color and shit, you know, like, the motherfuckers out there, Kentucky, man, got some flavor type shit. And and you can't get a job as a cook in the White House. Most times guys who cook in the White House are guys who were cooks in the military. You know, the chefs of the military, because military offers culinary school and shit too. You know, for, you know, when we go out and he got to cook for the platoon, or we might have a cookout, so you got goddamn Bubba up there, you know, and I ain't calling him Bubba, you know, like Bubba's Burgers and shit, you know, he knows the way to his burgers, so everybody get the same, everybody saying, his burger bigger than mine shit, you know what I'm saying? And you got guys up there who probably hear stories of me in the military, but I can easily get the nigga, but you know, and half the time, like I say, when boys talking inheritance, Donald Trump inherited a fucking government that was pretty much passed down through George Bush, the senior George Bush, Bill Clinton, next George Bush, Obama. So that's probably over 28 years probably, 20 to 30 fucking years, 34 years or some shit, 32 fucking years of motherfuckers who actually been digging in my fucking account and fucking over the people, the citizens of the country. So Donald ain't been up there about 6 years. You know, so we can't blame Donald Trump for a failing fucking government, you know, and a disaster that's going on, and then y'all blaming him for shit that he ain't got nothing to fucking do with, because you probably done fucked this money up, somewhere up in that 32 fucking years, and charged them taxes, and had all kinds of fucking, you know, petition orders for the city to tear down his fucking buildings. But you saying that can't be Donald Trump building, it's not a Trump Tower. Donald Trump builds more than goddamn Trump Towers, man. He might build a little fucking building out there that might like a little project area, like a little, they weren't made out of bricks, you know, they weren't made out of brown bricks and shit, like a big brick house type shit, like a motel suite. That's Donald Trump's designs. And you don't even know it because you don't think everything he got Trump on it. You know, and you probably done went down there and reconstruction fucked up some of his business and his economy because Trump builds more than goddamn Trump Towers. And, you know, Trump pretty much has his hands all in shit where you trying to rob Donald Trump and say his money ain't accurate, or you trying to extort him because he has maybe $2 billion. You know, I ain't gonna go that far, but business is good, but I don't know if it's that fucking good because, you know, Donald Trump is an older nigga, and his mama them, if his dad them got inheritance, then he pretty much collected. So Donald is on an inheritance situation where I'm fucking 88 years old now, man. Shorty gonna get his money back. JD them is next in line on their Virgo, you know, and I ain't seen my fucking wow. You know, I ain't seen slap my shit wow, man. I ain't seen no picture of it wow, but you know, and y'all talking like the funny shit where you don't even know that Donald pretty much he has more than Mar-a-Lago, but we ain't gonna put his business out in the street, you know what I'm saying? X-nay on that shit. You know, don't put my fucking business out in the street like that, man. We have niggas. But then sometimes you ain't got no choice. Well, you piss a nigga off so bad that he ain't got no business, ain't got no reason, or he ain't got no control. He gonna put his business in the street on his fucking own type shit. You know, so you got me out here putting my business in the fucking street all over some niggas down there who's, you know, stealing wallets out of motherfucking coats in the club and shit, you know. I might left my fucking wallet, or I might took my goddamn gold chain off and put it in my coat pocket because this is a speakeasy spot where we all dance, and you know, everybody putting on this local nigga who know each other with their wives and girlfriends and shit. And then you know how the stoolie in this motherfucker, they steal my fucking wristwatch and shit, which is very valuable. Not in cash, but because this is like a hand-me-down from my great-great-granddaddy type shit. You know, and it's like, you know, and it's like the times, you know, with the times and shit. And let you know that I can keep up, you know, and I can take care of my stuff. So what we dealing with over here, outside of these wars that's going on overseas, that's in like these designated area type shits where nigga, you know, over there, everybody, nigga, fuck you and everybody over there in Timbuktu, Israel, some shit. And them niggas got their own conversation going on. And, you know, he might say, in your neighborhood, them niggas do drive-bys with automatic weapons and shit, shoot niggas shit up and leave, and then go home wait for niggas to retaliate, or they just keep turning the bitch up. But over here, nigga, you know, you too far for me to do a fucking drive-by, because if I can shoot your ass with a 50 caliber rifle from here, nigga, I'll tear your whole neighborhood up. So I'm just go ahead and make it rain on your ass, you know, like goddamn, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and do a demolition zone in your neighborhood and shit, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you never know that sometimes that when you see these guys raining missiles on certain spots, like certain targets, those probably ain't nothing but places where a bunch of fucking espionage people are, like government buildings that have been set up by other countries to spy and steal wealth, and they probably don't even got no innocent kids and women and families in them, because they probably at the fucking markets, you know, and they probably, you know, Yeti and fucking and Granddaddy Rand and shit, they probably get on the phone first because they all from that side of town and shit. So, you know, they probably say, you know, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, yo, man, tear this goddamn building over here. And yeah, they might be getting that nigga locations to splash out on. And he say, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? I got the metal. Yeah, said, man, you know, I got some arsenal and shit, man, but I ain't got what you got down. It's almost like your little brother coming down there and said, man, I ain't got nothing but a 6-shot marble, man. And I need you to come out there with the fucking choppers and the 50 calibers and shit to help me out, man, because a lot of these niggas down doing stupid shit. And, you know, like, you just pinpoint location, I tear that bitch up. You know, versus you being a fucking journalist from America, giving your outlook on what you think is going on. You just giving your personal opinion, because you don't know what the fuck going on over in the offices, and these niggas doing espionage. But if I'm a journalist with CNN, I really ain't doing espionage. I'm just doing a weather report to let you know if your ass got some flights coming the fuck over here, this might not be the area for you to go. And I ain't staying here too long because them sirens start fucking me. I'm trying to get the fuck out of Dodge. And I don't want to be on a helicopter to get shot the fuck down, so I got to go like on a regular convenience car. You know what I mean? Or a regular old taxi that's from this neighborhood type shit. And I walk out of these whole fucking crew at times, say, fuck y'all, y'all niggas just some niggas from over there by Belgium somewhere, you know, on an adrenaline rush. I'm getting the fuck out of here. So, what we're really telling you is, it's a lot of shit going on, and you know, and then my situation, by me knowing a bunch of older people, and me growing up on a bunch of wisdom of the world and wisdom of wealth, you know, they got to the point where it's almost checkout time, man. 'Cause we up in our 90s and shit, man, and we coming to check on you because you might have some shit that you need to check into, as far as, you know, your family not expanding, and you need to add more people onto your, you know, your inheritance and shit. And I don't know if your kids not jumped on it or not, but somebody gotta be responsible for this shit, and we just gonna get, you know, we're gonna get the starter, you know. We're gonna get the originator, you know. He originated the whole plan, the whole family, so we're gonna go get him. And you tell us what we want to do, because we got to the point, we 90 years old, man. We sitting up in the senior office of the country called the White House, where most times when people go to the White House, they about 75 years old, and, you know, they live to be seniors. So, you know, and then, you know, people overseas, they like, you know, the prime ministers and, you know, the prime originators, you know, the original people and shit that's growing off. We make sure the kids get along, and, you know, they have old nigga conversations about, nigga, you eating your prunes, you getting your exercise like you supposed to and shit. You know, we in the restaurant and shit, man, looking at these kids and shit, you know. But, you know, y'all need to get Junebug on the fucking phone. Tell Junebug get the fuck out there goddamn little card house, drinking that liquor and smoking them fucking cigarettes and studying them bitches and them raps, and get his ass up there and tell him to sign that paperwork up and shit, man. Because we older, man, and we gonna get up out of here. And when we gone, you know, and it's your shit to take care when we gone, man. You know, we didn't have to get this far. And I hate to come back to this motherfucker and be reborn through your ass and one of your goddamn grandchildren, or, you know, or a couple of generations down in the family, you know, because we all got our blood stirred together, and come back and they say, man, June completely sold out, and that nigga didn't take care of business like he's supposed to, like he was a short nigga. And they might say, man, June might have been our fucking age when we thought he was 2 years old, man. He might have just been like off in the distance and shit. And, you know, you don't realize I'm getting older too. I'm 39, nigga, but I'm in dog year. Like 39 to me is like I'm 80 years old, like the rest of y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? So what we need to do is schedule a day where, and when I start saying shit like, you know, we should have a family reunion type shit. Alright, when I say we should have a family reunion type shit, I don't mean hire nobody to cook, and don't hire nobody to do shit. Alright? We having a family reunion, you let the family handle this shit. Alright? You don't go get caterers and shit, and we go to the family reunion, and they be saying, what the fuck is this shit, man? You know, fuck away with eat this shit on that shit and tell me. That shit ain't what fuck. You don't come down there with no fucking military caterers. Alright? Doing family reunion, we know how to cook our own shit. And the family reunion ain't about catering shit, it's about everybody getting together and put their own recipe shit together. And have it on the table and shit, you know. And everybody getting a scoop. And thinking about what else we can do with the farm and what kind of recipes we can go. Because we might be sitting there and we might notice one of the kids on the floor squeezing ketchup on some shit that we never thought about putting ketchup on. And he be eating that shit. And then we be laughing like, he gonna put that shit in the canned food, especially if he get a liking it and all the little kids start liking it. He gonna be in control of that canned food, you know. And that's how we keep carrying the inheritance. As far as, you know, the money, the generational wealth, where your old grandparents might have started with $1 million, and their parents probably started with maybe 10 acres of land and some fucking corn seeds, and it made $1 million. And then, you know, the next got the million, and then, you know, it became a family name. And then it got down to us in 2026, where it's over 35 zeros in the account, and it's still growing. And we don't really pay it no fucking mind. We just look at it as, we can go to the store and make a grocery. We ain't going to the store buy everything. We just going to the store and get on the phone like old motherfuckers do and say, man, yo, like Goya might call us, yo, man, you had my new canned beans, man, what they taste like up there, man, because I don't process everything down here and shit. You know, nigga got my recipe right. I say, I'll run down here and check on it. It's almost like calling up the street and say, yo, tell Junior to run to the store and check on them beans, man, make sure they right, man. So I don't want to have no recalls and shit, you know. And that's kind of shit we do. So we probably we go up there and discuss products. That's why I need a fucking market card. At times, the phone might ring and say, yo, Snap, man. Rand said he sent some motherfucker loaf bread or a bit, man. Has got them blueberries and shit in it. She word, yo, get down there and see if the nigga doing it right, man, because I'm thinking about putting a station over there. You know, because I got my shit hooked up, don't hook your shit up. I'm sending motherfuckers over there with you that they let it do it, you know, so y'all have that down there on the table and shit, man. And let me know what y'all think we should add to it. And I be like, yo, we gotta put some maple syrup on it and rub that shit in some maple syrup, man, because the bread is moist. And some maple syrup make it come out a little better taste shit before it's a dipping sauce. This nigga ain't put no goddamn maple syrup on my shit, nigga. Anyway, nigga, maple syrup when this white motherfucker burn this white face. You know what I'm saying? And we might get a laughing and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I can't believe you told me some shit like that. And I ain't even thinking about this shit the other night. And that's really what we saying. So what we telling y'all is, no, we ain't thinking that we some uppity rich people, because we just some regular niggas on the slums who got some loaf of bread money, man. So we don't want y'all up there thinking y'all got it like that, and y'all start stealing our groceries and shit, buying all kinds of guns, thinking, you know, we in charge of some mafia shit that you watched on the fucking Steven Spielberg movie. You know, you got your own check, and like we got our own check. And don't get mad at me, because I sitting on this bitch, and I got $35 billion in my pocket, but I still shop like I ain't got but $25 a day and shit. Because, you know, sometimes it ain't about the money, it's about keeping yourself healthy. So, we trying to figure out what the hell y'all got going on, because y'all up there and y'all got your own little agendas where y'all stealing bank accounts, because you think if I steal a bank account, then I can sleep with all the strippers in the nightclub all over the world and shit. And you don't realize that if that stripper is selling sex in that nightclub, and you know, you're not the only customer, man. So she might have fucked some nigga, 10 niggas ahead of you, and she might be telling you my stuff ain't right, man. This guy gave me STD and shit, man. You know, enter your own cause and shit. And now you getting mad trying to fucking cut my throat because you didn't proceed with caution. And you didn't really think about it, you know. And that's what we mean by y'all got all kinds of, you know, y'all got all kinds of, you know, perverted ass ideas about having money. You know, versus niggas who got real aspects of life by having money. And we be sitting on this motherfucker to my, yo, man, that tuna fish you got for me all night, you know that tuna fish, Joe, you put that steak sauce on, man, stir up, and put in that toast bread. Yo, how you feel about that shit? And we all might be on the phone, you know, nodding here, like that's the groove and shit, right? Then she said, yo, what we gonna do, man? Said, first we need to do is get a fucking couple of swimming pools and, you know, some salt water in that shit and start growing on tuna fish. That way we won't have to go out there and rob the ocean, because this shit probably be big, man. And then, you know, we got our own factory set up, you know. So we talking about getting factories set up in farms and shit where we can keep providing for people in the grocery markets and putting prices on it and cutting out the middleman at time and paying the laborers to load the cans and trucks a fair price so they'll be able to afford it and get their shoes and stuff, you know, for chipping in. So we all thinking about chipping in together, and y'all niggas trying to make it like a one person agenda, like it's all about one motherfucker, but it's about the whole family and shit. Cause you wouldn't think that a nigga would have a zillion dollars and he's just on nigga with it, and everybody else in the family is got $5 can't afford a loaf of bread, and I'm sitting here with $1 zillion, so like, I'm gonna fuck they can, nigga, it's my $1 zillion. It ain't like that, man. We talk about a whole family where, you know, we call around and check on, you know, like 5 generations down and shit, and like, yo, man, what you got going on down there, man? Like, granddad, man, I'm not wiping out the bullshit, keeping everything clean. I'm like, so what else going on in Rand over there, man? He said, man, look, you know I'm on my step stool, man. Sometimes I gotta climb, and I like to feel all day, man. I said, you ain't heard shit, then? He said, no. I said, man, that bullshit pretty be alright. He said, you know, it's me some tall folks over here, granddaddy. And, you know, you gotta make a little percent on this stuff. But look, man, this is my house. I just want the motherfucker to be sparking shiny, man. And I just keep myself busy, you know. And look, I said, what's your money situation look like? He said, well, the people who live in this room type environment, they come down here and they pretty much, they swipe the card and they pay the rent on time every month. And I said, okay, cool. You nigga pay that done? He said, I can use you guys, bro. I said, no, call Junior now and call Junior now, and they might come around there because they might be down there playing cards and they been waiting for you to call. And so they come down there and laugh. Man, that shit don't need to be fucking fixed, man. They fucking stove ain't worth a fuck, man. And they come down there and bitch about it. They say, man, I don't see nothing wrong with this shit. Then I want you to show them, because you been here. So you show me what the hell you want me to put up. Because I'm a little taller than you and got a little more muscle. So, you know, pass the message down into the card table and tell them down there to say, hey, and I'll tell y'all later, all right? And I'm on the phone with Senior in there, all right? You know, the whole country. And that's pretty much the talks that we have on the phone when we communicate from over here to over there to all around the world and shit. Versus y'all up there talking about, you know, some motherfuckers down here, it said that they was from fucking Washington, D.C., but the whole time them niggas was from up there by Northern Ireland somewhere. They was trying to get niggas to go to, you know, they was trying to go back to Northern Ireland and smoke fucking cocaine with baking soda in it and crystal meth glass, all mixed, 'cause that's the new rave over there, some shit. And they didn't want you to fuck their good time up drinking brews, and they just said go to Washington, D.C., 'cause them niggas y'all be from over there in America. And, you know, in their mind, they go to America and get fucking shot, and we don't have to worry about it no more. So, while we trying to figure out what's going on in these phone lines, you know, we all grown-ups now. And, you know, I know goddamn 2-year-old kids, they got more intelligence about life than a nigga that's 80 years old. You know, you might say that 2-year-old know him better. He know better than an 80-year-old motherfucker not putting on a fucking dress suit and go out in a fucking 200-degree weather, man. He know better than this shit. It ain't because nobody whip his ass, because I know better than that shit, man. I ain't going out like that. I might be a good hold to him. Well, we might start talking about recycles, all kinds of shit. You know, and you might waste 10 years on the phone doing espionage of me being on the phone with people that's in Iran, that's into markets and businesses, and to recycles and products, and, you know, stuff that goes on around the world. You'll waste 10 years on the phone trying to get a nuclear code, and I don't even know you're on the phone if you're doing espionage. And I'm just having a regular, you know, put my grandson on the phone over there in America and shit. Man, what's up, granddad, man? Man, what the fuck going on down there, man? Shit, I ain't seen shit going on, man. Think about going to get me a fucking ram sandwich, man. Goddamn friendship loading like $4. They're pretty fucking good, though, man. You gotta get your ass frying. Then we might start, that conversation might start on right there. Next thing you know, we start talking about restaurants, canned foods, all kinds of shit going on. And you sit there and wait 20 years, listen to us talk, waiting for the key word. Think we talking in fucking codes. Whole time we talking about going to the fucking grocery store and, you know, what the fucking ham and what the fucking pork and shit and what the cattle look like. And it ain't got no fleas and shit on it. So, you know, that shit will mess the economy up, man. Then we might start talking about how niggas got beat up in 1943 or some shit that we had in Almanac, how somebody got the ass beat. But you know, niggas be out there running cars, they was smoking and drinking wine, and they be important type niggas and shit. So, man, you need to write this shit down, man. That's the scripture in the book. So y'all niggas, you know, what not to do and get the fucking war started on him. All over some goddamn tuna fish, they had E. coli on it. And fucked up a whole lot of toiletries in my neighborhood. And then, you know, the cotton farms started running fucking low, so I had to call over to Israel. And he said he had the same goddamn problem with that goddamn E. coli tuna fish. And he ain't got no fucking cotton for us to wipe up with. Now we going all around the world looking for some goddamn toilet tissue because our stomach's fucked up from some goddamn tuna fish we bought from over there by South Ireland or some shit. You know, and I'm just using Ireland as an example. I ain't really pinpointing that location. You know, and you know that's what I say about being qualified to do a job, man. Because you might be spying on the wrong sources, and you know, you trying to capture all the wrong people. And you might be put out there on a mission where they got you listening, and they might, you know, like, you know, what we doing today, man? And shit, hey, this man, go down and listen to Powwow talk, man. And shit, Powwow is dirty, and it's no, just listen to Powwow, man. You know, lighten up and listen to Powwow and shit. And you know, and Powwow ain't talking about shit, man. And just come up here and tell you what Powwow talking about on the phone, man. Cause you like when they say you listen to Powwow, it's like walk by Powwow office, man, on the CIA equipment and see what the hell is really going on. And you know, if it's some shit going on where he laughing his ass off, just come up here and walk and say, Powwow pretty cool, man. He bitching about somebody got his fucking money, man. And y'all need to take his fucking head down there because his goddamn check got sent to the wrong address type shit. And he down there getting mad as shit And he patiently waited for the motherfucker. You know, he still surviving on apples and oranges and snails and frogs and shit. When he waiting for his shit to come down to him. You know, so that's when you get on the tax bracket and say, look, y'all need to take that service jacket down there. But a lot of people don't speak that translation. They think service jacket means bring me a fucking camouflage coat or some shit. That ain't what we talking about. We talking about bringing my fucking mail order with my fucking check stud and shit in it, nigga. You know, so you gotta realize everybody ain't from the same house or from the same street corner. They use the same dialogue, you know. So, and then you might be saying, you know, somebody might call on the phone and say, look, man, this Iran, man. We coming to fucking North America, man. And then y'all might say, oh my God, Lord, get the army together, Iran showing down here, we're gonna get invaded. That ain't what I'm talking about, nigga. We come to see grandson down there in the resorts and shit, man. We went down there and ride around and shit. And I'm just letting y'all niggas know that when I roll up on my fly-ass plane, it's painted like an Iranian flag and like a fucking brand new Cadillac. And I'm gonna land that bitch down there and let grandson check the bitch out. And we gonna fly around that motherfucker. He gonna let me know what he think about this motherfucker. He might want him one. And then we gonna ride around and see what the hell's going on, you know. So I'm just coming down there because I don't want to go through no badass neighborhood in Washington, D.C. where them niggas be trying to shoot me and shit, man. You know, so we're going out with grandson there. You know where to meet up at. You know, we call it Meet Up Park. Y'all might call it Meet Up, we call it Meet Up Park. You know, so we going down there and check it out. And he said he got some markets and land and stuff down there, but it's all being compromised by some goddamn guys who down there trying to pull a get rich easy scheme on a pyramid monopoly scheme and shit. So y'all niggas need to get the fuck on up, get your lawyers and shit, and y'all come on down there. Cause like I told you before, you know, I ain't coming to fucking Washington. If Iran ain't welcome in Washington, then I ain't coming to fucking Washington. You know what I'm saying? You might as well say fuck power, I ain't Iran, and we Washington D.C. and we'll take over my. But I'm not coming to fuck down unless random down there because I like the way random be smiling and shit. And like even until they get older, they be smiling, you know. See, auntie, my bones still fucking healthy and shit. Boy, I take care of myself. You get a lot of good advice from people over there, man, because, you know, people over there, you know, we eat healthy, and you might call it organic, but it comes out the farm and shit, you know. Y'all always have technical ass words. Yeah, it's organic, nigga. What the fuck you mean? You know, what's organic? I mean, I don't put like water and, you know, hard shit on it, so the bugs, I don't give a fuck about them bugs eating that shit, man. As long as they got me, so I throw that shit over to the bugs. I let this shit for me for a board gun, cook a wine pack for it, man. Goddamn miles of this shit down here, man. You know what I'm saying? So I like to deal with people who got real life aspects and enjoy about them, you know, that I can relate to. And you might say, wait a minute, look, motherfucker, I'm well known all over Iran. Like I'm from the fucking slums. Like I'm the minister, like I'm the junior minister, the senior minister, and everybody around there pretty much knows who I am and shit. For 39 years and shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm more well known in Iran than the Quran and shit, you know? Because that shit, history, but we want to hear the up-to-date shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We can't do nothing about this shit happening back in all our times and in the Quran. But whenever we talking about some shit that's happening in 2026, you know what I'm saying? Some shit that I seen with my own eyes and I had to read a book about, you know? So, last year, I was telling about the family union, and I said, you know, they get a family union. So they started getting satellite glooms, and it was like the gloom was going around India and shit. Where it was like they're cheering good, man. They on mopeds and shit. They riding, you know. They have the Taj Mahal up there. They having a good time, and then start calling around Mexico where the kids good, man. They back here on the dirt pads and the trailers, and you know they going out there and fetch apples and shit, and start calling around goddamn Saudi Arabia, and they were like, shit, mow them good, man. You know, the kids and shit, everybody's growing up doing things and stuff, man. And then start talking random, you know. They said, random good, man. Ram Sandwich them left a long time ago, man. You know, Ram Sandwich was older than you when you were younger. And he done retired and then went on got his pay, man. And they doing their thing on vacations and stuff, you know. And then we had a point where, you know, it's like called up Europe and shit. Like, you know, and, you know, we still got tapes of you up in Europe when you was little, man. We keep this shit like in the library type shit. That's like a good ass, funny ass home video. And, you know, like, call Africa, you know, like, Africa doing good, man, you know. The cattle and shit going on, I be like, yo, they got juice for the generator shit. Like, yeah, but I was like, yo, we probably can see if we do a solar system, or like a solar job down there where the sun, where, you know, it don't kick off some fumes and shit. And, as we calling around, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because I might be stuck in the office, and they might say, man, that little motherfucker might be busy all the time, but he will return type shit. I will come back type shit and check on you. All right, even if it's a while. And I promise when I come back, I'm gonna be the same fucking person. So I'm gonna have the same memories of where the hell we was at. So I'm calling for a family reunion. And I ain't never really thought about a family reunion for it's all of my kids and all of the families of the world, like the one world family all coming together and meeting each other. And everybody pretty much speak one language. And even if we don't speak one language, we gonna take the kids down there and let them go out there and play softball and kickball, and then they're gonna learn how to speak each other's language, because later on in life, man, we might have a situation where, we need a translator, and he might be a international or universal translator to get on the phone and shit. Alright? So we keeping all that in mind. Then I was saying, and then, they might say, they might call Washington, or they might call somewhere in America, and they're like, yo, put terror on the phone, man. You might say, it's goddamn Kurds, Nah, man, that's my little hood name where, everybody got their own little nicknames, and they might call me Terror, man, because that nigga scared the shit out of niggas who be bullshit around, and they call me Terror because, nigga, you saying shit like that, I'm called Terror because you can get fucking shot, and you might call your mom and daddy Terror because you done broke somebody's shit, nigga, you can get whipping, and I'm getting the fuck out of here type shit, and that's just like the dialogue we use with each other. So we had 575 people that were scheduled to come from the Middle East to America. It was all like my kids and my grandkids, and all those gonna attend the family reunion. And they was trying to shut it down, saying, nah, man, we can't do it. So now we still at the drum boards trying to figure out what the hell we gonna do at this family reunion, and what stadium we gonna have it in, and what we gonna cater. So that's pretty much what we're trying to get on the phone about. And it was June. And I say, if I get my fucking money from out of the account up there, then, since it's since it's gonna be my little idea on this shit, how we gonna set it up, y'all just call the family up, get everybody on the lines, and they be like, yo, what colors you wearing? We all wearing black, we like, man, we all wearing black. You wear black short pants with 6 pockets, black t-shirt, and bamboo hats, man, to block the sun rays. And, we all dressing like crows, man, like a family of crows and shit. So we going over the crows at the powwows, you know what I'm saying? This is Crow Family Union. So we getting down there, and June say, well, we gonna need some trucks and shit, like 18-wheelers, man, to pull up, because we gonna have a variety of food, and we gonna need somewhere for the kids and shit to shoot ball, and like a resort type shit where they go out there and play. And, it's gonna be one big family union, and this family union probably have maybe fucking close to 1 million motherfuckers in it, from what they was calling them numbers on, talking about how many children in, and, and Don, you gonna have to take off work that day, man, and let JD Vance go up there and handle your recruit cards and shit. You come the fuck on down here with us, because we might end up at the bar and shit later on that night, grown folks smoking cigarettes, and they gonna bring their flavors and brands and be like, yeah, check these out. And it's gonna be one big happy family type shit outside the war. Yahoo, everybody coming, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who got a DNA pattern with this little motherfucker here is going, and their cousins and brothers and everybody gonna mingle around this shit. And hell, might say, how long the family union be? Shit, nigga, with Z and Arnold's. Family union might be a retirement party at the same fucking time. Well, we all might be sitting on that bitch thinking about, this some good ass wine, man, but that ain't the same fucking wine that you was drinking because you put that Kool-Aid in it. So let me see it. Man, you need to bottle that shit up. And then we would just start talking about markets and shit, because we really ain't into the government shit. We put that shit on auto and let the damn, let whoever build the buildings decide the prices and stuff. Because he got to go through getting the materials and the recipes and the workers, so he knows what the fuck he can afford to buy, and how he can pay them, so that's another man's problem. You don't worry about that kind of shit when you're in the White House, because your problem is what the hell you can do with your $400,000. So I don't know what the hell they got going on, so like right now, and then we gonna ride around, because, I was trying to call Don, because I was thinking about, I need some of them low budget, I need some of them brick buildings them brown brick buildings and shit, and some asphalt and shit laid. I know you're getting older, but you might say Eric them, and Eric them might have some connections, or if Don Jr. might have some connections. I see, you know what I'm saying? That's just gonna be like a New York style building, and then we have like the New York building, then we might have an Iranian style building, and then we have like this little plaza where all of them live. And to tell you the truth, I might just fuck around and try to get like a motel suite, and that's where that's the kids' house. The kids live the fuck over there, man. That's short niggas still there, you know what I'm saying? Cause you a damn tall nigga, and children gonna be out there, you know how y'all having a party, and you got about 40, 50 fucking children and grown folks there, you can't hear shit, but children walking around, and then late at night, y'all was starting drinking, y'all having, like, conversation about investments while the kids, so that's where the kids stay at over there, That's their little housing joint, where they walk around and play video games, like, and that's the time over there for the kids and shit, And, and it's 12:19 here at night. It's pretty clear, the weather patterns. So we go check out some establishments. But what I'm really trying to tell y'all is, y'all trying to say he don't know what to feel like to have money. It ain't me, man. It's somebody up there that's digging through somebody and pitching out money and shit, like, I hope he never finds out or some shit. Alright. So what I'm saying is, come down here. We're going to find something out about this city, because Edgecombe, Halifax, and Nash pretty much is already reserved for how big my family is. And we all pretty much come here. The weather patterns are good. We don't really worry about storms and shit like that. It rains and the ground is fertile, so we don't have to have middlemen for as farmers in case our stuff oversells, and then and we need to go back and handle, And I'm so tired of being in fucking court, man. We should do it simple where that ain't y'all shit, nigga. Put it back in his name. Ship that check up there. Whatever the fuck y'all niggas made, go ahead and do what you gotta do with it. Whoever the fuck down there working like they supposed to be, go ahead and do what you gotta do type shit, And stay in contact with him, because he might be up there at corporate trying to figure out what the hell else we need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man. You starting at the bottom floor in a skyscraper and the elevator's broke. And you gotta take every step to the top, you know what I'm saying? And it's fucking 80 floors, so you gotta walk to the top and you doing 80 floors. So once I get up these goddamn steps to the 80th floor, man, I ain't coming the fuck back down, man. So, so tell whoever the fuck bringing that grocery up here to put a fucking elevator in this bitch to get here a lot faster. Or send a fucking helicopter or a drone or something to the roof with some groceries, so I can walk to the roof and shit. It'd be a lot quicker for me to walk to the roof than it'd be for me to walk way back down. We got them 80 story steps and shit. You know what I'm saying? So once I get them down, and if I leave, I'm leaving my fucking helicopter from the roof, man. Cause I ain't going back to the bottom and walk the fuck way back up there, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we talking about, man. Alright, so what we gonna do? You got my phone number, you got my address. Ain't no excuse on why we can't get in contact with him, or we got to call somebody who ain't even, we got to call somebody who intercepting phone calls. Like, yo, they trying to call, intercept the phone call. Yeah, man, we'll be there. It ain't none of that shit. You turning business into personal situations. We always keep business and personal shit separate, you know what I'm saying? You making this shit very personal. Alright? Keep it business. I don't come to your house and start screaming at your fucking kids and wives, making it personal. I don't put your wife and your fucking system in my business and my mouth and tuck so don't make it personal, man. Alright? Keep it all business. Even to when you out there and you doing investigations, don't make it personal, man. Keep it business, We got what we came for, let's get the fuck out of here, If we close down the investigation, after we close the investigation, they gonna feel like, well, damn, they got such and such. We'll close the investigation and we're just gonna get this nigga the fuck out of here and say, we close the investigation, but we'll keep the investigation open. We just move him to another source and we're gonna see who the fuck else follows up. And this ain't got nothing to do with our country. This got to do with like a fucking rat race of thieves and shit, alright? So, we've been talking, and then I pretty much feel you. You know, you pretty much get where I'm going with, you know, the cleanup in Venezuela type shit, where get somebody who's trusted to go down there, because I touched on all that shit in this video. And you can see it's live, so you can't say it's AI type shit. Alright, so it's about 12:19. I'm going to click off because I don't know if you could have a video too long where it'll shut down and then it'll delete the video and you just did all of it for nothing. So I'll click back on later.